Kanpai! You are now being kanpai'd. Look into my eyes. Look directly into my eyes. Now look inside my head. You can see my tongue. Hi everyone, welcome to Kanpai Cast, episode 185. It is finally time, once again, for the spring 2025 3-episode rule. Oh, love these review sessions, man. I do like getting together with you guys and talking about anime. But first, housekeeping. Housekeeping. It's not housekeeping, right? Yeah, housekeeping. Mm-hmm. Housekeeping. Just the usual stuff like comment, subscribe. YouTube loves your interactions. Although maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Who knows anymore? But we love your interactions. I personally enjoy your comments. There's a audio version linked in the description below if you prefer listening to us on your podcast device while you're out and about. We have a Discord you can come join, come hang out, good times there. Patreons, Xeno and I do streaming. Thaylien apparently reads stuff, but mostly he just is an annoyance on Discord. So yeah. I think that
I offer wisdom that does not relate to real life.
I think that's basically it for this week, unless you have anything else to add, Xeno.
No, there's your thing as well. Remember, we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago. Oh
yeah, so even though I have a lot of anime this week that I watched, or this time around that I watched, I've kind of been feeling weirdly pressured. It's probably in my own head more than anything. But we sat down and we decided, maybe I should just pull back a little bit. Maybe I should just watch dubbed stuff. And I think the final conclusion we came to was, I'll just watch what I watch. And if I happen to get through a bunch of shows like I did this time, hey, cool. But just because I started a show doesn't mean I have to continue it, even if I'm enjoying it. So like if the 6-episode rule comes around and for some reason I just haven't had the time and I've only watched 4 or 5 shows or, whatever, then that's just what we'll go with, and that's just the way it'll be. So you may see fewer reviews from me going forward, but you may not. Like this time we're all evenly balanced.
Yeah, Indeed. It was so funny that this time you were like, I can't cope, and then you had more than most of us.
I know.
I know. What?
Well, part of that was because Lazarus and GQuuuuuX and the other one, Devil May Cry, were all dubbed, so it was really easy to get through those. And Devil May Cry was just a one shot of 8 episodes, so it was really easy to get through.
It's already out. It's bingeable.
Exactly.
I think the main takeaway here, this might sound like, whoa, what the hell are these guys even talking about? So the key problem here is that this was supposed to be a fun thing, and it was becoming less fun and more work for Nasuth, and I can appreciate that. So we're trying to mix it up a bit to make it fun again. And so you might wonder, like, oh, what happened to this show and things like that. It's just a simple case of we want to keep this fun.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. In solidarity with Nasuth, I am immediately dropping one of my shows.
Only one?
Well, we'll see.
I think I'm
said
dropping
immediately, as opposed to
2 or 3. Anyway, we'll get into that.
Spoiler alert: dropping shows.
Yeah, I imagine.
Shall we get going, gentlemen? We've got
it's a long one, so
7 shows to go through. 26 shows to go through, and 1 evening to do it in.
Yeah. So starting, of course, with the shows that we're not covering, which is the clip show after the end. I mean, the beginning after the end. Once Upon a Witch's Death, the Mononoke lecture logs of Shiunji Sensei. He just solves all the mysteries, and the Dinner Table Detective. Both of those last 2 I might pick up if I have time for them, but like we said, whatever. If I don't, I don't.
I was going to pick up the beginning after the end. However, there was so much melodrama over it. I'm like, you know what? I don't care.
Right. Who wants to start? Who wants to go first? Should we just go down the list?
Yeah, go for it, Nasuth.
Yeah.
Should we just start at the top? All right.
Yeah.
So I'm Zeno, if you could hit the buttons for me. I would like to start with Anne Shirley, big forehead girl. Receding hairline girl. Vegeta hairline girl. So this is an acquired taste, 3-star. If it will pop up. There we go. Because it is just Anne of Green Gables, right? So if you like that sort of thing, this is competently put together. It seems to be accurate to the original story. It's solid in pretty much every way, but it's not an inspired adaptation like Gankutsuo or The Rose King, right? So personally, I'm probably not going to continue with this one. But if you like that sort of English literature stuff, then this is going to be fine. I personally didn't realize when I picked it up that it was going to be Anne of Green Gables. I thought it was just going to be a British historical piece. And then I started watching it, and I was like, wait. They just said Green Gables, and her name is Anne with an E. Aww. The art style, yeah, it may not look like it in these stills, but the art style often has an almost Ghibli quality to the art, especially in like the noses and stuff. But it's budget Ghibli. It's Ghibli if they had a third of the money that they usually have to put into something. It's also the studio that worked on the City Hunter remake, Golgo 13, and helped with a lot of Western DC stuff, and also Your Name and Suzume.
Oh.
Not the same studio that made Your Name and Suzume, but they helped a lot on the like in-betweens and stuff.
Right.
I also keep vacillating between really enjoying this because it is a really solid, well done production, and being fucking infuriated at Anne because, let's face it, she's an 11-year-old girl, and the writing makes her mood swing more than some kind of jet-fueled swingomatron, because that's pretty accurate to teenagers, let's face it. Preteens, I should say. But again, this is just not the kind of story I'm interested in. It's a coming-of-age story for a girl set in a period of history when, just being able to speak out in school was considered a big deal. And that's cool. It's a very progressive story for its time. Not so much interesting now to me, So that's really pretty much all I have to say about it, unless you guys have... Do you need to know the story of Anne of Green Gables if you don't already know? Should I go into what that is?
I already know it, but...
I don't know it. So I think like a brief synopsis would be good.
So she's an orphan girl who's lived in an orphanage basically her whole life. She's gone to several homes already, but they've returned her because she's too imaginative or ugly or what have you. And then she finally gets sent to Green Gables. The wife originally wanted a boy because they wanted somebody to help with the housework and whatnot. But when they meet her, when the father meets her at the train station, he doesn't have the heart to tell her no. And so eventually he convinces the wife to keep her. She is a very imaginative girl. So we get to see her growing up in Green Gables. We get to see the family dynamic slowly develop as this cold, offstandish woman learns to love a child. The child who thinks that she's ugly and unlovable learns that she can be accepted in a family. It's a lot of good stuff in there. And I think they even do eventually get to when she's an adult. I think. But, it's just... It's set in like the 18th century, 19th century.
So story of its time as well, with values there.
Yeah, probably 19th century, late 19th century.
as opposed to the late 1900s, which we can now refer to and make other people feel old.
Yes.
Oof.
All right. Thaylien.
Okay, who wants to hear about what? Because we picked for Xeno, so pick one for me for the starting.
I've got to be honest, I want you to jump to Be Hero X.
Xeno wants to hear if you hate it as much as he does.
No, it's like there's just, it's not I have hate for it, but I want to see like what Thaylien thinks of To Be Hero X.
Because, okay, before I do a rating, I have a confession to the watchers out there that recommended this show. I got to halfway through episode 1 and stopped watching. For 2 whole weeks. And that was just because of a vibe I was getting about the show that just didn't feel right. And I said to Xeno and Nasuth that I was actually not sure I wanted to review this one when it came up with me on the list. So I sat down literally the night before recording this, that's yesterday night, and just to see if I could push past that feeling I had. And that's when I realized I'd been wrong.
Okay.
The vibes I was getting were because it was setting up how wrong the setting was, so the main character could actually start being the main character.
Okay.
For me, just watching the rest of episodes 1, then 2, not even getting to 3 yet, turned this into a must-watch 4-star for me.
Wow.
Interesting.
Xeno, did you make it all the way through 3 episodes?
I've watched the 4th.
Okay. All right.
Excellent. Well, may the 4th be with you. Anyway,
Still
I haven't got around to episode 4 yet. So, for me, the story it's telling and the animation quality, the way it switches between the 3D CGI animation to the 2D when our main character is being a hero, plus the emotional note it hit on in the 2nd episode, it just hit on a point for me. For me, it was really well done. So, for a bit of background, To Be Hero X is a world where people's trust and good feelings about you are able to be translated directly into superpowers. They can change your powers based on who believes in you and what they think you're able to do, and also because of your own belief in yourself, to a degree. The heroes that fight using his power are unfortunately carefully choreographed most of the time. Their villains are managed by the same company, and it's a lot of it seems staged. But in the shadows, there's a force moving that gives people the opposite power. It gives them the ability to draw power from fear. And that's setting that up to be quite a nice little counterbalance thing for this show. But what drew me is this awareness the characters have of how this system not only makes them super powerful and things, but also exploits them. It can tear friends apart. It can take a good man and make him exceedingly powerful, but because everybody believes that he must always be a certain way, he can't not be that way in his so it causes him to suffer from it, to the point where people around him want him to stop being a hero because they can see how much he's suffering from it, to a degree. There's moments where the belief of others in a superhero can make so much of a difference, where our main character, the simple belief that he is striving hard to lift a heavy object, somebody gets it on live stream, and the support he gets allows him to lift it. The trust they have in him to be able to actually save the day allows him to lift this heavy weight and exceed the limits that he thought he had.
So, are you essentially saying this is a story about the unrealistic expectations that sometimes get put on people?
Very much so.
Okay.
I mean, in the first episode, just to get the shock out there, our main character is an advertiser for. He makes the short adverts for superheroes, and has put his time into the 2 heroes, Nice and Moon. to try and get them to be shown off, and he's really into the whole supporting these superheroes through the advertising, getting the belief to them. And he gets shut down by his boss, and his boss fires him, and he literally loses everything, and he's up on the edge of a building, wondering if he should just step off onto thin air. But what happens? The hero he's been supporting, Nice, literally comes down to land beside him, but instead of giving him a nice talking to or doing that, he steps off instead. And it's the emergency that causes is only solved by the fact that our man, if he dyed his hair white, looks like Nice. And so they install one of these trust things in his arm and get him to impersonate Nice, and everybody believes he is, and so he gains the powers of Nice.
Right.
So the whole first episode starts is this weird vibe of where he's pretending to be a hero, and I didn't get it at first, but then when they suddenly when he did reveal one of the characters is actually trying to out him as a fraud, and the show goes awry, suddenly he steps up and is a hero using those powers. It's surprising. You know, Moon, the heroine he's been supporting, is not who she seems to be. None of them are, because it's all this manufactured expectations. So I want to see where this one's going.
Counterpoint,
you might not agree.
I don't agree. So I maybe I've watched too much Corridor Crew. Maybe I've watched too many how it's made videos for visual effects and things. My grievance with this show is that it effectively says free will is not a thing. And you just
I don't believe in
have
free will,
to,
so that's fine.
You just have to. Well, no, it's not a case of. Sorry, it's the perception of. Oh God, basically, you can't make your own life decisions. Other people are making your life decisions for you. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
But, yes, that is exactly right, Xeno. But it's not saying this is a good thing. And
the problems that this induces is you end up having characters that have very thin veneers of their motivations. One of the characters that, you know, is supposed to be a villain, they are, you know, they're trying to ruin the credibility of another hero, not our main hero, but when I realized that the main hero could not bend his knees, I was just like, wait a second, what? The whole idea is that this guy holds the world up, and he can. His name in Japanese is Mr. Stand, right? And the idea is that he is never sitting, he is never kneeling,
always
he can't
upstanding.
He can never lie down. So his bed is upright, right? And it's just a simple case of that people's perception of you basically force you to be a certain way. That's not something I like at all. Not only that
I can understand it though.
Not only that, but people don't have rights. So it's like, I don't want to do this thing.
Okay.
Tough, you got to do it. I'm like,
so what it's doing there, Xeno, is showing you how bad this system is, and hopefully that the story is going to break it. It's setting it up to have a problem.
I think
like the problems of society taken to extreme. You know, where you've got social pressure, peer pressures, and whatnot. and sometimes it feels like your life is out of your control, and sometimes it feels like you have to do things you don't want to because you exist within the system. Like, you know.
Right. But at the same time, I just don't like the message it's sending. Not only that, but I also hate the structure of the episodes, where every episode has to end on a shock factor hit cliffhanger, right? Every episode ends on a shock factor cliffhanger. What's called Thaylien, first episode, first episode, and none of it. There's one that does. Next to none of it gets resolved, right? It's just completely swept under the rug as if it never happened, and I hate that. That's worse than here's a cliffhanger, we resolve it within the first 5 minutes, and then the rest of the show is mediocre. The fact that they just swept it under the rug as if it never happened to begin with, I really hate that. That's worse. So personally, I would rate this like a 2 or a 3-star acquired taste, and I don't think I want to keep watching it.
Xeno doesn't like real world allegories. Got it.
Yeah, so I'm telling you, the whole message it's sending is that this is a bad situation, not glorifying it, not saying that you have no thing. It's saying that this is not the way it should be. This is the way that these people have to live, and that something needs to change. It's highlighting
and a lot of
problem.
Celebrities also get stuff swept under the rug so that the public doesn't. Well, try to get it swept under the rug so the public doesn't see it.
Tell you what, if the system changes right at all, actually no. End of episode 4. Really highlighted to be something I really don't want to watch. So I won't.
Okay, that's fine.
All right.
Well, this one I really want to keep watching. I have to apologize for people that I doubted when I first started watching it. This is I really, really enjoyed where it went with this.
Right. Next.
Right, what can we do for Xeno?
I don't know if I want him to do Apocalypse Motel or Hotel, or please put them on Takamine-san.
Oh fuck.
Let's save the slightly raunchy ones for later in the show.
Okay.
So
Apocalypse Hotel then.
Hotel.
Okay, fine. So Apocalypse Hotel is certainly not for everyone. I would argue that it is something that I will very much enjoy, and I think if you are someone that likes the slice of life that you get from the likes of Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, I think you'll enjoy this. I think Kobayashi's Dragon Maid is a better production than this, but if you like that quality of slice of life, I think you'll enjoy this. I'm going to give this a 4-star acquired taste. Right? That's high. I have high expectations for this, but it could fall.
Kobayashi's really quite the right comparison.
No, it's the zaniness. It's the eccentricness of it. You know.
Not so much our main characters, but in the guests they deal with, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Like, the guests are more akin to Toru than anything else. Yeah, whereas our hotel staff are more akin to Kobayashi. Right. So the whole idea is that there was a virus on Earth that basically made Earth uninhabitable to primates. Sorry. And basically humanity had to leave the planet. The Earth had become effectively a technological utopia, and everything was handled for humanity. But humanity's been gone for centuries. Don't know when they'll return. And
if ever.
Effectively, yeah, if ever. And there's this one hotel in, I want to say Ginza, It does actually give us a place, doesn't it? That is still operational. So that it's currently being operated by a bunch of androids of various different shapes and sizes, and they are maintaining the hotel for the eventful day of when humanity returns. They have to break past their programming. They have to deal with a lack of resources. One of my favorite characters.
To the point that there used to be a ton more of these androids, and now there's only a handful of them left actually working.
Mm-hmm. And one of my favorite characters is this big macho doorman android that looks like he could remove your skull and spine intact from the rest of your body. And he is a very, very diligent doorman, to the point of he will randomly open the door just to make sure he doesn't forget how to open the door. But the problem is that because he's outside all the time,
and he's
run out of coolant.
Yeah.
They've run out of coolant. So he can't cool himself properly, to where our main hostess has to travel out to the woods, find a river, fill up a canteen full of water just to cool him off. So he has to be externally cooled through water, as you know, just splashing him with water is hilarious.
He's just like me, for real.
What?
He's just like me, for real.
For real.
Oh, okay. So honestly, I do really enjoy the series. It is fun. I can totally get why people that don't typically like slice of life would not enjoy this. That's why I don't think this can ever get into the must-watch category. I don't think this will ever break new ground that your standard slice of life haters could enjoy it. So, but for like, even though I'm like, so I was watching this too, and even though I'm dropping it, I agree with Zeno. It is an acquired taste 4-star. There is a lot of quality here, and if you like that kind of workplace comedy with this faint hint of tragedy laced in the background, you'll probably enjoy this a lot. Yep. There is a good chance that this could just fall into is it the Masterful Cat stressed again today?
Potentially, yeah. Yeah, because it does kind of have the same formula, at least in the 3 episodes that I watched. But then they kind of also broke it with the what the Tanuki girl does at the very end of episode 3, which I won't give away.
True, but at the same time, my point is that it could just go, and that's it. That we've just got the same rinse, repeat scenarios from here on, and I'm hoping not. I'm hoping that this show does grow, but I'm certainly enjoying it.
I think we're going to get more little hints about humanity, like we got with the Tanukis, talking about the ship they found, as the series goes on.
They're so funny. They are absolutely hilarious. It's just like,
they are.
Hi, my name is blah blah blah, and I'm a human. No one announces them like themselves like that. Anyway, moving forward.
Oh, the little boy. Oh, yeah. Anyway.
So that was Apocalypse Hotel.
Adorable.
Yeah, honestly, even though I dropped it, it's really good. I think you might even enjoy it, Thaylien. I say even. Of course, you can enjoy it. Well, any
too much slice of life this season myself.
Any requests on what I should do next?
Go Loser Ranger.
Oh, Xeno wants to go to the pain. So I don't know what I gave season 1. It was probably pretty low. But
I think it was because of the ending.
Much how Solo Leveling season 2 was better because they'd gotten through the terrible beginning. I feel like the same thing is happening here. I don't know if it's enough to keep me invested though, even now, because currently it is just an acquired taste 0-star. It is right on the edge of falling back down into nothing special or worse. So episodes 1 and 2 show a little bit of promise. We set some expectations for the season, with D now wanting to track down boss monsters while also looking to the weakness of the remaining Dragon Keepers. Episode 2 even sees them trapped in one of the boss monsters' time loop. Like, this boss monster has a time loop thing going on, which is kind of cool. The way it plays out is kind of cool. But at the same time, at the end of episode 3, they're still in this situation. Well, 2 of them are anyway. They're 3 of the 4 that went in are still in that situation. Only one of them has managed to escape. And so the fact that this is taking its sweet time when it feels like it could go a little faster is a little bit annoying. It still feels a little pointless for our main character to be a monster. Like, why couldn't it just be Hibiki, who knows there's something going on with something wrong with the Rangers? Why does it have to be this monster? His powers rarely ever come into play, very rarely, and I think they could find other ways to do it without using his powers. They spent two episodes, and they're going to spend at least one episode here. But I don't know. It hasn't felt too fillery, but it also just feels like it's taken a while.
Do you think that this is more likely to be one to enjoy all in one go? Because, like, my biggest grievance for season 1 was just, like, some things took no time at all that should IRL take forever, and some things that when they should have been, like, freaking seconds.
Yeah. Like, I think this is definitely one to binge if you're gonna watch it. I think there's even an English dub. I can't remember.
Right.
Or there will be if there isn't already. But yeah, that's really. I don't have much to say about this one. It's the same as season 1, more or less. Just not as annoying yet. Has some more interesting things going on so far. But
I mean, if the rate that they're going with this one, do you think that it would have more seasons? Or because, like, they're going so we learned that there were originally 12 boss monsters, and apparently now, including Petrolta, there are still 5 left. Petrolta was the one from the end of season 1 that showed up and started killing everyone in the test. So there are 5 left, and if they only go up against Ouroboros in this season, then yes, the one that does time loop is named Ouroboros. Go figure. If they spend the entire season on Ouroboros, then there could be at least 4 more after this. Jesus.
But that's if, and I get the feeling that they probably will. So,
I'm intrigued to know what our audience thinks of Go-Go Loser.
I don't know if I'm going to keep up with this one or not. It's not high on my list of things to keep up with.
I wouldn't blame you. I would not blame you. Anyway. Do you want to keep going, or do you want to move on?
Nope, I'm done. Nope, that's it. Unless you guys have any questions.
Go Loser Ranger.
Yep.
Season 2.
So, what's next, you think, gentlemen? From me.
Yandere Dark Elf. What?
Oh, okay. I was just saying I've been killing slimes for 300 years, but yeah, let's hear about the.
Let's get into one of the. These. So, Yandere Dark Elf. She chased me all the way from another world. Is a difficult one. Because
wait, that's not the right button.
I want to.
That's the right button.
Yeah, because I can't believe it's not hentai. It's weirdly too close to hentai to be really believable. I'm fairly sure that the source material is in fact a hentai that they've just toned down. Right? I'm
which wouldn't be a problem
–
if our main character didn't look like he was 14.
Yes, this is the thing. This is what makes it a 4-star pass for me.
Oh Oh my god!
It's an actual pass. I would not recommend this to other people. I mean, it's easy. As a show, it's easy to see the appeal of a busty, completely head over heels for you elf that is devoted enough to cross dimensions to be with you. It just falls into that category that I genuinely avoid in anime in general, which is the ones with con on the end of it, the Shotacons and Lolacons. I don't appreciate those shows. This is the show I'm dropping for definite.
Yep.
This one, okay.
Yes. As much fun as looking at naked tanned elf titties as she is, it's all ruined for me in the very next shot because she's approaching what is being billed as a young boy. Yep. If the hero were even visually close to in their late teens instead of being drawn as like 15 at most, I'd probably be completely on board with the show. But it's the same turn off for me as straight up Lolacon shows. A straight turn off for me. They just don't. No, I don't.
Okay,
you know, it's as bad for a 30-year-old man to fall for a 14-year-old girl as it is for an adult elf to fall for the 14, 15-year-old boy.
I have a question.
It's weird in both cases.
I have a question for you, right?
Yes.
Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, right? You have the events of Lukua and Shota, right?
Yeah.
That, I personally think, is like the limit to where I will go with any of this stuff. Right? Like, you know, she doesn't actually make any proper advancements on him. She just makes him feel uncomfortable.
The joke of that relationship is that she's not treating it like a romantic relationship in that way.
Yes, but he's a 14-year-old boy, so he's interested.
No, he's younger. I think he's younger than. No.
Yes.
But the big thing is he's not interested because he thinks that she's a demon, not a dragon.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. She's a succubus.
Sorry,
yeah, she's out for his.
He's interested because he's at that age where seeing certain things makes you have certain reactions, but he's not actually interested in her because she's a goddamn demon.
So, so does
that's the comedy?
With this one, does it cross that line? Does it go like?
She is 100% into him. And that's the whole point of her being underage. She's 100% into him. She's trying to get into bed with him at all times. She is jealous of all his friends for spending time with him. And she will do literally anything for him, including spending most of her time naked, because what's the point of wearing clothes when he's around? You know, and he actually has to force her to put on clothes. And even when she does, it's, you know, sexy sweaters and things.
This just
following him into the bath and tripping over him accidentally to make sure that he is like pressed to the floor, and then starting to get a little bit heated, and he actually has to run away because he is a well-raised and sensible young man that believes in modesty.
See,
that's the only reason.
I would like one of these shows. Modesty. I would like one of these shows where the male protagonist will like, I'm gonna taser you, right? It's just like you are coming on far too strong, right?
Yes.
Calm the fuck down. Here's some pepper spray, or here's
on screen right now is the weird one where she's so jealous that she joined his school. It's very obvious that she is an adult woman pretending to be a teenager, but everybody just goes with it. Because she actually uses magic to hypnotize a couple of people to make it work.
Okay, but still, I'm not surprised you're dropping this one.
Reminds me of that one at a magic school where the boy is trying to summon a familiar, and he gets a demon waifu instead. I don't remember the name of it. I'm pretty sure Xeno watched it for a while at least.
Keep going.
I mean, that's basically it. She pretends to be human, and everyone thinks that he's bound to human.
Vermilion and Gold.
That's the one.
Oh yes.
That I dropped instantly because it was just like, well, this is just.
Yeah, I thought you were actually talking about Macadamy Washoi to begin with, but then I realized, yeah. No, I get.
So this one I am dropping. It's not worth me. I am not so attached to my lower brain that I will keep watching this despite its flaws, you know?
There's other parts of the internet for that. Anyway, moving on.
Yes. That was a Yandere Dark Elf. She chased me all the way from another world.
Right.
To be a predator.
What would you like me... Oh, God. What would you like me to cover next?
Let's go for something a little bit off, like the Shiunji family children.
So...
That's a long, drawn-out sigh.
Yeah, it really is. This... Oh, my God. This is difficult. This is genuinely difficult. First off, it's from the author that wrote Rent-A-Girlfriend, right? So that's an instant, like, oh, God, right, okay. Second, yeah, it's... I think I need to talk through this and then I'll give my rating, right? Okay. So the whole idea is that at the 15th birthday of the youngest child, it is revealed by the father that none of the siblings are related bar two that are twins, right? So they are... Oh God, which ones are the which one? No, it's not identical.
Fraternal.
Fraternal, yeah, fraternal twins. They're fraternal twins, right? And the idea was that they had like two sets of twins, but one of the other sets of twins is not legitimate, right? So the idea is that yes, you are. You're not related by blood in the slightest, and what do we do with this information? Nothing at all. We just make all the siblings feel awkward because now all the girls have the hots for the oldest brother, not the oldest sibling. That's actually one of the other characters. But so they start having feelings for the oldest brother, and the oldest brother just sees them as sisters. Right.
So wait,
and
he's not related to any of them by blood, but
he's not.
Some of them are related to each other.
The youngest brother and one of the younger sisters are twins. They are right. You know, okay. They are blood related, right? Okay. But none of the other siblings are related in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
They were all adopted. And the main male protagonist, the oldest brother, is supposed to be the heir to the family, and I think that, you know, in not so many words, actually probably in more subcontext than anything else, the idea is that the proposed sisters could become the proposed wife. And the thing is, like, he's lived with them for like 16, 17 years, and he doesn't see any of them that way. So like, but it's interesting that he isn't just kowtowing to hormones and things like that, and they are trying to keep up this facade to the general public that they are still siblings, but it is an odd one. It is a genuine odd one, as is Rent-A-Girlfriend. I think, in all honesty, in terms of the production value, I'm going to give this a 4-star, nothing special, right? The production value is really high, but I can see this being a little too cringe for most people. So... yeah, this is
yeah, this is a worrying kind of vibe on this one.
I think if it goes much further, like it might snap out of it, but it might go like, oh, let's explore this depravity, and I'm like, oh no, this is
yeah, there's nothing technically wrong with it. They're not blood related.
Yeah, so I just, yep, I can't. So Yep, that's the review. I shall hand back over to Nasuth.
Well,
I have one that I want to hear from you because it's probably good, which is KonoSuba.
Oh, KonoSuba, man. This is going to be a short one because it is just an OVA. It's only 2 episodes. And for that reason, and the fact that you have to have at least watched episode 2, season 2, to really kind of understand one of the stories, I can't go any higher than an acquired taste 5-star, which is still pretty high, but it's not as high as I would usually give KonoSuba.
Is this not post season 3?
One of them is, sort of. The other one is a flashback, you see.
Okay.
The first one is a beach episode with the added benefit of it being a beach episode because they're going to fight a hurricane. Now, I initially was like, is this... They want Megaman to use her explosion magic on it. And I was initially like, is this a reference to that time? Is this a reference to that time Donald Trump wanted to nuke a hurricane? But you see, because this is the KonoSuba world, the stupidest suggestion is actually the correct one. You see?
Oh my god!
Because there is a wind spirit that exists, or storm spirit that exists within the hurricane that is causing it to happen, and the only way to knock her out of it is to hit her with an extremely high blast of magical power, which is what explosion is. There's some shenanigans that ensue. The reason it's a beach episode, I assure you, dear viewers, these swimsuits are absolutely essential to the plot. That plot being trying to see women naked. All the men in the city trying to see the women naked. I won't tell you how, but that is the goal. We get real close to a Yamcha pose with Aqua when she's fighting the spirit. Real close. Not quite there, but real close. And Aqua always ruins everything. That's all you need to know about the end of that one.
Yes.
Aqua ruins everything.
I have the best plans. All the plans. Nuke the hurricane. All the plans. Best plans.
The second one is a flashback to just after season 2, I think. And it's Kazuma meeting another party that is almost exactly a clone of their party. Even the names are similar, like Megumi instead of Megumin, and Akure instead of Aqua. And so, yes. And so he pretends, they're like, oh, we're here to see this Kazuma guy. He's a real shitbag. And so he goes with the surname, or the pseudonym Tanaka, while trying to explain to them that Kazuma's actually a pretty cool guy. Shenanigans ensue, where they figure out who he is, and they decide that the only way to decide which team is the real team and which team is the knockoff is to have a competition gaining reputation in Axel. And that has unexpected turnarounds. Eventually they have to team up to take it on, and I won't tell you how that one ends either, because there are only 2 episodes. You're not going to get much out of this anyway. But you should, if you like KonoSuba, you should go watch them. The swimsuits. Swimsuits are absolutely necessary. I assure you, dear viewer. Absolutely.
Oh my god, Wiz!
100% necessary.
Takuma came up to me, big guy, strong guy, told me all about how good Kazuma is.
Anyway.
Yes, I'm Tanaka. Tanaka. But yeah, I can't wait for season 4. This was a great watch. Very little.
Is there only 2 episodes to this OVA?
Only 2 episodes.
Or are they going to release a 3rd? Okay, fine.
Only 2 episodes. And that is KonoSuba, the OVA, Season 3 OVA bonus stage.
Nice. I'll have to check it out.
For the swimsuits.
Where do we want me to go?
What? I've been killing slimes for...
Yeah, Nasuth wanted me to do that one, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, slime 300. Okay. So there's my notes on that one. It all the way up here. Okay, so this is an acquired taste 2-star. So for season 2, this is the epitome of a slice of life fantasy show with an isekai added on, and a harem of girls. So they're all family bonded to the main character instead of romantically, except the plot seems to have already been done. You know, it's over with. You know, season 1 told the story of how an overworked office lady was reincarnated as an immortal or forever 17-year-old witch in a comfy little house in the Highlands. And over 300 years, she slowly maxed out her level as a witch without noticing or caring about the power it brought her. And then when the world noticed her, she ended up slapping down dragons and spirits and claiming all of them as her daughters or sisters. You know, just as you do. That was wholesome and fun. There's still slice of life kind of elements. But this season's gone fully into the slice of life stuff without any direction. So it's just like the next thing happening. So we have they just decide that, okay, we found that rice grows here, so we're going to make Japanese style sweets.
Into a farming anime.
Kind of. But so they make little slime buns, you know, they're jelly-filled buns that look like slimes, and sell them at the thing, get some more money, which is cute because the girls, the 2 little slime spirit girls, are just adorable. Then they take an outing into the city and find out that the goddess who sent her there has actually been demoted to a low-level world goddess because she keeps reincarnating people as forever 17 immortal girls.
Oh my god.
They head out to the spirits the spirit summit, because the 2 girls are new spirits. They were born in the first season, and so they go to the summit of spirits. But it turns out the Summit of Spirits is just kind of a get-together to chat and spread rumours, because it used to be this really important thing, but people stopped coming because it was too much effort. So it just turned into a social event, and the girls just use it to go and
I see Trump's been
popularise their bean buns. Yes, Trump has been here.
The audio listeners, there's a golden toilet on screen right now.
Yes, golden toilet surrounded by rose bushes. They head over to the demon city to talk to the demon queen, who is apparently her friend, and her first minister, and they spy on her at work, just to, you know, with the witch going invisible, to spy on her at work to see that she's actually, you know, competent and hardworking when she's not lazing around and trying to steal her daughters right out from under her. But it turns out she's not actually nobility. She lives in a giant house that was given to her to become the first minister, and she only lives in like 4 rooms of it, and everything else has fallen to dust because she doesn't want to hire staff or be super important. There's nothing happening, but it's just cute stuff happening one after the other. Little things. You're finding more about the characters. The elf still just wants to drink alcohol. You know, the red dragon girl just wants to clean things. The blue dragon girl just wants competition. It's a nice little slice of life, except usually with a slice of life there is a story, and this one doesn't seem to be telling one. It's just
kidding me?
This thing happened. Yeah, no, I'm not kidding you. Because in some of them there are in fact a story.
I think he's kidding us, Nasuth.
He's kidding us.
He's kidding us.
Little bit. No, so this is like the absolute genuine slice of life where and the next thing happens. There's no driving plot. There's no overarching story yet.
So now that she's got her family, it's just what they're doing, what her family's doing.
Exactly.
I think,
which is
honestly,
cute.
I think, honestly, if you were to rate this any higher, I would have shouted at you. Because honestly, dude, I'm not kidding. Season 1 puts me to sleep, right? Mm-hmm. I have tried watching it, I don't know how many times, Because as soon as I found out, I was like, wait, this is getting a season 2? I've even tried watching it in English. Every bloody time I've tried to watch this, I have fallen asleep during it. I have no idea what it is, right? I don't know if they've sort of like, done something weird to the colors that will put me to sleep, but seriously, every episode I have thus far fallen asleep to.
Subliminal messaging. Slime bliminal messaging. Ha ha.
Right. Should we move on?
Right, so that was I've been killing slime for 300 years and maxed out my level season 2.
Yes. Right. What would you like me to cover next?
I'd like to know about Sword of the Demon Hunter.
Right.
Yes, please.
Okay. This is a weird one. I don't think you've watched Sword of the Demon Hunter, have you?
I haven't. It was on my list, but I didn't pick it up.
Yeah, that's fair. So, Sword of the Demon Hunter, I'm gonna give a 3-star acquired taste. Alright?
That's not bad for 3 episodes.
4. So, the first episode, episode is like an hour-long special, right? And it screams to you the caliber of Rising of the Shield Hero. And
Season 1?
Season 1.
Wow.
A good season, right? But the end of the first episode, first off, made me rage, right? Because they tease it to a point where I thought that the whole first episode was a waste of space, right? But luckily, when you come to the second episode, that's just been like the events of the teaser thing at the end of the first episode is just completely disregarded, which is good. It is a genuine good thing. I'll come to more details in a bit. Animation-wise, it is really, really good. I would argue that this is like season 1 of Rising the Shield Hero meets Demon Slayer, right? So the premise of the show is that demons exist, and you have samurai that are going around guarding villages or so on and so forth to protect them from singular demon attacks, right? So the demons, they don't have the coordinated efforts like they do in Demon Slayer. It's sort of like a singular thing. Now, our main protagonist has a sister, and the sister is cursed. And their father ends up attacking the sister. He's constantly beating her and things like that. To the point of the son takes the sister and they run away. They leave home and they don't come back. So they end up getting picked up by a stranger who turns out to be a samurai guard for another village / town / you get the idea. And they end up growing up there. The brother ends up getting trained there and becomes a samurai to fight off demons himself. And the sister, she actually remains the same small, petite girl that, when they were found, sort of thing. So she never grows up, right? So he's an adult at this point, and she is still just a child. But with internal politics within the village being what they are, the village priestess has to choose a suitor, right? Or a suitor has to be chosen for the village priestess, and this is used to manipulate the sister, and she fully awakens. During this time, the brother is attacked, and he ends up becoming part demon himself, right? Now, this is all cool. Like, the first episode was really, really cool. It reset the stage, reset the motion. And at the very end of the first episode, it teases that it skips ahead to modern day Japan, right? And that boiled my blood, right? Because like you have this brilliant setting, you spent an hour showing me all of this, and you piss it away to make it modern day Japan. What the fuck? The good news is, no, it's still set in feudal Japan, right? The rest of the show is still feudal Japan, but it becomes a lot slower. My belief is that this is a 2-core series, so that might explain some of the slowness. But we're talking about entire events of dealing with demons actually taking multiple episodes. Dealing with a singular demon taking multiple episodes. But they are heavily leaning on a lot of the original narratives of how demons come into existence. So a lot of it is emotion-based. So rather than, people getting infected like they did in Demon Slayer,
would you say it takes so long because they're laying the groundwork for why this demon exists, and then they're confronting the demon, essentially?
No, I think they are spinning a large narrative for each story. So one of my biggest criticisms with the likes of Cowboy Bebop, the series, is that the episodic nature kind of made every episode feel really rushed, right? I love the Cowboy Bebop movie, and I wish that the series was like, the multiple arcs, where it was multiple episodes per arc, as opposed to like, oh no, we've already
here and there.
Yeah, well, we've already tracked down the bounty, and now all we have to do is wrestle them, and we're out. And like that was too short for me. This is doing what I wanted the series to do of Cowboy Bebop, which is, so instead of spending one episode, doing the whole demon fight, it's spread over multiple, because it's setting up the entire stage, not just for the demon, but also for So, but once that story is done, then move on to the next story entirely.
So none of them have. I say none of them so far. I guess you've only had time for like a couple of them. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like the arcs are overstaying their welcome. They're well timed. They're well paced. They end when before they get too old. Unlike say, Undead Murder Farce, where you thought they were taking too long. Okay. All right.
I definitely felt that they were taking too long in Undead Murder Farce.
Okay.
But with this, it's just long enough that I don't lose my mind. But I hope that they actually start getting to some overarching plot, because I think, like, technically we're kind of episode 7 now, because like the first episode is actually technically like 3. So, here's hoping. So I'm sticking with it, but again, could go anyway.
So Thaylien, did you notice he doesn't like it when To Be Hero X sweeps an ending under the rug, but he likes it when this show does. No. Right. So here's the thing, though.
Be nice.
So the big thing is, right, To Be Hero X, it's sweeping stuff under the rug that is relevant to the events of the narrative.
Yeah,
right? Or rather, it's just like, I know you're giving me a hard time. It's just unpicking them and CC. Oh, it's just, this never happened. This never existed. The thing that I didn't like about it with what's this one called? Sword of the Demon Hunter, is the simple fact that it felt like I just wasted the entire last hour. I fucking hated Eminence in Shadow. It was like I watched the first episode and then fucking isekai. I'm like, what was the point in that first episode? Anyway.
I can see where you're coming from. I think they could have probably done it well, but yeah. So that was Sword of the Demon Hunter.
It's fine if it's done well.
Yeah, exactly.
Fine if it's done right. It's okay if it's done right. Come, brother. Sorry.
Oop.
Right.
Somebody just massively just took off in a car somehow.
Okay, Devil May Cry or Shoshimin?
I was going to say which show do you want to address last?
Oh gosh, probably Lazarus.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, let's go with Shoshimin.
All right. So this is actually season 2 of How to Be Shoshimin, How to Become Ordinary. And I didn't know how they were going to do a season 2 because season 1 ended so perfectly. And yet here we are, 3 episodes in, and this is a must-watch 3-star for me. Now it might not be a must. Now I think I rated the first one pretty highly too. I love how slow and methodical and realistic this show is. It feels a little different now because we're following. Well, we started out following different characters, but our other characters our original characters are slowly being drawn into it as the narrative continues. This one centers around, so far, we started with a string of arsons, and one of the people on the newspaper club realizes there's a pattern. And so he starts investigating it and putting it into the school newspaper, which causes issues among some of the school staff. And the reason it causes issues among the school staff is something that I noticed as well, which is like, if you know there's a pattern, if you know there's a possibility of finding a suspect who's done it, why are you not reporting it to the authorities so they can potentially stop more of them from happening? Don't you have a duty? Technically, it's not illegal to hold back that information, but don't you kind of have a duty? If somebody ended up getting hurt, wouldn't you feel horrible? I don't know. It just feels a little weird to me. In that one aspect. There haven't really been any small mysteries yet, like there were in the first season, where they were kind of getting you into the idea of how this show worked. There was one with the hot cocoa where they were trying to figure out how they used 2 glasses to make 3 cups of hot cocoa in this very specific way that would have needed, you'd think, 3 glasses. So it seems like it's a much longer arc this time, which is fine, because the first one had a longer arc in the background, and it feels like they've just kind of brought that to the forefront now. Our original. So, first season. Oh, I forgot to start the timer again. First season was essentially our 2 main characters trying to pretend that they're just ordinary people when one of them is kind of like a mastermind and the other one is really good at figuring out mysteries. And this season, since they're not together anymore, we're starting to see more stuff from an outside angle that involves them. Like, what is Osanai doing? Osanai is the girl that was in the first season. At the end of that season, it was revealed that she'd kind of manipulated these people who were going to come after her anyway to do it on her terms. And then convinced some other people not to report it to the police. Essentially. Not to report her involvement in it to the police. And so this season seems to have her in maybe more of a villain role. Maybe? Like, this is what happens when masterminding goes too far and you get too full of your own power. So I'm really curious to see where this one goes.
Nice. So that's the interesting one. Is when the whole show is how to become ordinary, and one of the main characters in the first season is then deliberately not being ordinary and embracing the unordinariness. Yeah. In that way. Yeah. As the old saying goes, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
It's been very interesting so far. But it is also a very slow one. So if you're not into slower procedural stuff, don't check out Shoshimin How to Become Ordinary.
well deserving of the rating, it seems. All right, so where do we want to go next?
Well, I suppose
Witch Watch.
Yeah, I was gonna say we probably
Witch
want to end
Watch.
on Gundam.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do we? Okay. All right, so Witch Watch. This one for me is kind of more fun than the previous slice of life I talked about. This is an acquired taste 4 for me. So, the slice of life rom-com where two childhood friends are separated in their youth and now reunite at the start of high school. Twist is, these two happen to be a witch, a real one with real magic, and her new familiar, who is descended from ogres and has, super strength and endurance. This is convenient, of course, that they meet up, because apparently a disaster will happen to her in the coming year, and he will be there to protect her. And that's the premise. The comedy comes in with the simple fact that our witch Nico is actually supposed to use her magic as practice to help people and learn how to use her magic properly. Even with training, no witch becomes a proper witch unless she actually uses it in a real world situation. So the school's been informed about her being a witch. Her classmates learn about it on the first day, and meanwhile, the two of them have to live together at home. And the father of our ogre here literally just says, to make this easier, I've decided to go work abroad for a couple of months.
Oh
and
my
her mother's
God.
going to stay in the village. And it's definitely giving me that arranged marriage by convenience vibes, setting up that classic situation with a big hand wave. So, like, being upfront about it doesn't make it not a trope, guys. Okay?
I think it's called hanging a lantern.
Okay. Yes.
What?
So, but hanging a lantern.
There's a specific term called hanging a lantern where you kind of like make a point of putting something,
the obvious thing obvious, so that people know it's there,
cliche
and
thing
somehow
up front.
makes it. Yes, so you're not hiding it. Still, I think the magic is fun from bad situations where she wants to show off and turns herself into paper, and she gets stuck between two buildings. Where if the magic runs out, she'll get crushed, and so he has to like punch her out of the rock wall to save her, in front of this guy that's trying to bully them, which seriously scares the shit out of him. And all the way up to the fact that they actually wanted to do something nice for the class, so she taught them all how to fly.
Oh.
Well, she created a magic circle that they could fly. She created a magic
circle where people can fly, and it was actually really fun to see, because they had, like this description of these guys are really cautious, they're flying low. These guys want to zoom around like Dragon Ball Z. The teacher is actually a closet nerd and wants to also zoom around like Dragon Ball Z, but she's a teacher. And then there's this one guy over by the wall who's sitting it out because he wants to look cool. And then there's this other guy next to him who's so uninvolved that he's actually still in his school uniform instead of in the gym uniform. But then it smash cuts to, but they all got along well together, and they're all making a fish shape as they fly through the sky. They're all swimming like a school of fish together, even the uniformed guy. When they want to do something fun, she says, "Oh, I could use the gravity spell." And then the teacher comes in for morning meeting, and all the students are arranged like on the ceilings and walls. And she's like, "Yeah."
It's more than that. She goes like, "Oh my god, is this the Infinite Castle?"
Yes, it's the Infinite Castle. So she keeps referencing, like, when his hair's going, his hair gets expanded by a spell, because she's trying to increase the size of the eraser on the end of his pencil so he can properly erase something, and she misses and hits his hair, and he gets a super long cowlick. Oh my god! And the teacher goes, "Hang on, is this adult gone? Has he come back to us?" It's referencing Hunter x Hunter.
This is the slice of life for shonen fans, is what you're saying.
Kind of, but it's definitely the wrong cop. So it is another one of those, if you like slice of life, you'll like this, but if you don't like slice of life, it's not really for you shows. But the higher quality of the comedy and plot on this than Slime 300, it makes it more than a nothing special to non-fans. It's not quite as it's not a pass. If you see what I mean, to non-fans of it.
You've not watched episode 4 yet, I can tell.
Yeah, I know. But on a side note, the mug with the unhappy Nowl face that just says onions on it is absolute peak, and I will not accept any criticism on it.
Wait, what?
It's cute.
Oh my god. I don't know, fucking work that one out. Yes.
Onions. It's just, I will not take any criticism on the onions.
No, I'll give you that.
Mug.
100%.
Yeah. Still. Yeah, I found this funnier than Slime 300, and I'm enjoying it more. So I'm going to keep watching this one.
So, Xeno, what is it about episode 4 that ruined it?
It introduces a character that
Oh no.
I argue is worse than Zenitsu.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
no.
my hope is that they fuck off and come back periodically, as opposed to they're a permanent fixture now. So let's see what the 6th episode review comes.
All right, so that's Witch Watch, and Xeno's making me upset.
Yep.
Lol.
I can.
He's good at that.
So to
That's his superpower.
to pay him back, let's make him talk about I'm the evil lord of an intergalactic empire.
No, but he likes. I'm the evil lord of an
like
intergalactic
that.
empire.
I enjoy that.
I'm pretty sure if
Okay.
we want to punish
Yeah.
him, we make him talk about please put them on Takamine-san.
No, if you want to punish me, you make me talk about can a boy-girl friendship survive?
No, because this one that two of us have also watched, so we can be mean to him about it
Okay.
because he likes it. Carry on.
I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna say a 1-star acquired taste. Right. I think that if you like mecha, you'll enjoy this. I think if you enjoy isekai stuff, you'll enjoy this. If you don't like either of those two things, it is going to be a huge negative against you. Or against the show, rather, not against you. I think that the animation is okay in a lot of places, but there is parts where they use CG mecha, and it looks infinitely better than the 2D drawn mecha. Infinitely, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's some super horn dog moments in the first episode, which are just second episode.
Second episode.
Sorry, which are just like, oh my god, calm the f down. I did not like the tragedy that happens in the first episode, and I want to say to people, like, if you don't like, to me that was a horrific tragedy.
It was a huge
If you
downer,
don't,
yeah.
Yeah, it was a huge downer.
It's made to make you feel sorry for the main character in the way that men can really be paranoid about.
No, I think
It's a case of everything that could go wrong does go wrong for him.
in the second, well, I mean, I think it's worse than that, but the unthinkable fucking happens. But I would say that if you're going to start this, you have to do the show the justice of at least watching the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
You can't not watch the first 2 episodes if you're going to start it at all, because the second episode,
The tone changes completely.
not just that.
About 90%. Changes about 90%.
It's not just that, but everything that you will hate of the first episode actually gets a proper resolution, at least to my eyes. I mean, to me, I'm like,
Yes.
yep, I'm happy with that resolution.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was happy with that.
I like some of the tongue in cheek in the teacher, the samurai teacher.
Samurai teacher, the relationship with his parents, where
the relationship with his butler.
Another thing the show does is it keeps alluding to where the narrative is going to go. It keeps on interlacing story points of an upcoming event that is just like, okay, we're episode 4 and we still haven't gotten to that story event. Can we please fucking get there already? Like, I mean, that's gonna
be the end of the series. Well, that's not gonna be the very end of the series, but it's gonna be near the end of the series. We're gonna see everything.
Oh fuck! You really think so?
It'll be episode 9 or 10.
Worryingly, yes, I think so.
Okay, I think it's going to be like the next episode. But if Nasuth, if you're genuinely correct, sorry, episode 5, not episode 4. I've seen episode 4.
Yeah.
But
okay,
if you are genuinely correct, that is going to knock it down into the nothing special. Because like I'm just like, no, we're going to see
everything up to that point is going to be prequel, and it's going to be most of the season.
I will also say, though, because... So, Nasuth watched this show relatively recently, whereas I watched it ages ago when
it was first leaked.
Yes, I didn't realize it had been leaked. And I rewatched it over the weekend, and it's just like, right, so I do actually have a fresh record. But, like, I couldn't remember so much of it. It's okay... But like it's if there's other stuff you want to watch, go watch that. So
also there's the I for one welcome our AI.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I for one welcome our AI made big titty mated overlords now. It's just if that's how they want to run the world, I'm fully behind that one.
I wrote down that it's fantasy isekai Gundam harem rebuilding the kingdom, evil overlord fighting a dark god.
Right, I argue against Gundam.
No, he's totally
it's
a new type.
Mecha. No, fuck off. He's not a new type, dude. It's just like it's just a mecha. It's just a fucking mecha show.
He's just been put in the MacGuffin pod. That's what it is. He's not a new type.
He's a MacGuffin type.
Anyway. Right.
I do like there is that one saving grace for the character, which is the thing that saves him and makes sure that the evil god does not have his whole way. I like the fact they mentioned it. His dog. If you die, aren't your pets supposed to come meet you?
Yeah.
And it actually did. Helped guide him. Yeah. That's adorable. All right. Nasuth, where are we going with you?
Teogonia or what?
Windbreaker.
Windbreaker says
the father.
Windbreaker.
I mean, what? Windbreaker. Yes.
So this is another season 2 that had a okay season 1. I enjoyed season 1 more than Xeno did anyway.
I gave up on season 1.
Yeah, I think I found the secret to enjoying. I found the secret to enjoying season 1, which was to look at it more like wuxia sort of storytelling, where these are different samurai clans, or you had different schools of samurais back then and whatnot. Not samurais, I don't think. Maybe a ronin. I don't remember. Anyway, so this is currently, as it stands, in season 2, an acquired taste. Acquired taste. 1 star. It is too generic to be higher, but too good to be lower. Still, just kind of a wuxia that's trying to be uplifting at heart. The anime suffers a bit in these first 3 episodes, probably because they're starting with a massive free-for-all between 2 groups, and so you end up with a lot of people in the background, kind of shuffling back and forth, not really doing much, or some bad CGI shots, things like that in there. But they do try to put the animation where it counts, so some of the more one-on-one action gets a lot of attention to it. One of the downsides for this season is I'm not sure how many times our main character Sakura, who was a loner for all his life, pushed people away and everything, can learn the lesson of not getting inside his own head, not thinking he has to do everything on his own, and that looking is a good thing. I don't know how many times it can do that before it starts to get really annoying. It hasn't yet.
Or maybe...
But it's right on the edge.
Maybe he's just not learning.
No, because
maybe he thinks he's learning, but he's just forgetting, so he's not actually learning. He's just repeating.
It's all the blunt force trauma to the head.
Yeah,
yeah. It's not really the highest on my list to keep up with, because even though I enjoy it, I like Wuxia, I like the uplifting nature of this one. It's just not. It's still generic, you know. You can get this kind of anywhere, really. So it's not high on my list, but I do still plan to keep up with it as best I can, as best as my time permits me, and that sort of thing. I like the fact that it's themes of fellowship and the struggle of protecting the weak against those who would rule them with power. You know, those that have power should protect the weak rather than trying to rule them, essentially.
Have there been any teachers yet?
No, of course not. The teacher
authority figures.
The teacher is the leader of each gang, right?
Teacher is the fist.
It is the master of their particular dojo. That is their teacher.
The teacher
and their upperclassmen,
is the boot to the face.
Exactly, boot to the head.
It's not a school then.
No, it's a dojo.
Didn't he transfer to a school? I swear in the first
They call them
episode...
schools, and they pretend like they are high schools, but they're clearly just dojos. They're just dojos. They're just dojos, and these are Ronin or whatever.
Those random citizens that live in this district are fucking morons.
Well, to be fair, a dojo style is often called a school in terms of, you know, I follow the water flowing rock smashing school.
Yes.
Stop quoting One Punch Man.
But I mean, they in the first episode, Xeno's right. They do treat this like he's a transfer student from another school, and he is just a normal average student. And there's Japanese media, a lot of live action Japanese media, especially in like the 80s and 90s, kind of did this sort of thing too. So I'm not totally against it. It may just be a cultural difference thing that's hard to get into.
No, I just feel like this is akin to, this is like a delinquent school, but all the delinquents are self-governing. And it's just like, wait, what? No, what? No, what?
Yeah.
That wouldn't work. Why hasn't this turned into Schedule 1 and there's a giant meth lab in the gymnasium?
I'm sure one of them, one of the other schools does that. Wouldn't put it past them, put it past them at all.
Duly noted. Also, wasn't there a tournament arc in the first season?
Yes, but it wasn't super long. It was like right at the end.
Oh, okay.
And then this one started with a free-for-all.
Okay, this is a giant... tournament arcs are just a...
It's Wuxia stuff. It's, it's just...
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. No, I get it. That's why it's an acquired taste 1, you know?
Yeah.
So that was Windbreaker Season 2.
Okay.
Nice. Okay, pick one, gentlemen.
Fire Force.
Excellent, Fire Force. So, Fire Force Season 3. This one, I'm not going to go too much into detail about. It's an acquired taste 2-star. I have been
which I will hit as soon as it comes up on screen. There it goes.
I have been outspoken about this show in the past. You know, how I enjoy it as a, one of these Shonen Jump style shows. I find that some parts of it are a bit unnecessary and detract from my enjoyment. Some characters detract from my enjoyment a little bit. Luckily, in the first few episodes of the new season, the parts I enjoy are more prevalent than the parts that I don't. They made clear in the first episode that they're still there. They have the girl with the lucky lecturer perk just lose her clothes just right there in the first episode, but it's not focused on. And the actual plot is taking over, as it were, which I'm finding much better. The part of the ongoing story is where the bad guys appear to be winning. Okay, taking over the government via the religion and controlling the most powerful and influential people through manipulation, lies, and sometimes straight up bribery. The captain of our heroes' force, Section 8, has been captured, and the squad is now on a mission to rescue him. They're joining up with a couple of characters that are were rebels in the first place and weren't very trustworthy, and they're the only ones that aren't affiliated with the actual bad guys, so they're now being trustworthy. There's some setup for some good fights, which is the kind of thing you want from a show like Fire Force. There's lots of on-screen explosions and fire and things everywhere, and there's a bit of the comedy is still there. The actual comedy where the supporting main character, the Lancer for our main guy, they're driving through the sewers to get to the destination, and they're rebels now. So the second in command is like, yes, we can stand up in the back of the car. We are rebels. Stay standing and listen to the briefing. And what you don't, it's a blinking and miss moment, but Arthur gets just dropped over the back of the car because of the bouncing. So he falls out of the vehicle and he's left behind, and nobody notices until they get to the place, break down the wall, and realize what one of their key forward attackers is not there. And he's going to catch up and do something cool later. The standard battle shonen stuff. It's good animation for its particular style. It's got some good hype moments, and this more serious plot going forward of the bad guys taking over and starting to look like they're winning is actually a nice start to this season. I'm enjoying it for what it is. I don't know. No clue.
I think it is.
If it is, then they're starting well, and we might be able to see some big fights between important people. So yeah, I'm just like the way that this is not skimping on this battle shonen style of thing. It just works, and
this is the final season, but it is 2 cores.
Oh, good. Oh, okay. So we will see how it goes. It's I think it's going to be worth the shout as long as they stick the landing, unlike a lot of other shows.
I've been told to check this out. Xeno's told me not to. But if there are only 3 seasons, it might be not that bad to get through.
Start it. You'll probably get to the same point as everyone else I know. If you're going to give up, you'll give up at the same point as everyone has given up.
Which part is that, Xeno? Just for people who have watched it.
I don't think he wants to tell me.
No, I think it's like season 1, episode 8, where see the fact that I actually give the number, like fucking Thaylien goes, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I can see why I can see that. On the other hand, it's still the first season is still a win for me. Just on the theme song alone, the opening theme tune is one of the best from that year.
Yeah, but you could just bloody acquire the theme tune and just listen to it on your phone.
Just listen to it on YouTube.
I know.
Make it your ringtone.
But yeah, so I'm not going to go any more into that. It's Fire Force Season 3. Wild Taste 2-star. Let's carry on and put Xeno on the spot for something different.
Go on.
Like Kowloon generic romance.
How generic is their romance? Is it the most?
Fine. I'll go with this one. So, this is really difficult to rate. I'm probably gonna give this a 1-star must watch.
Wow.
Right. So even though there is heavy romance elements in the show, they are by far the leading factor. There is a strong mystery element to Kowloon generic romance that is really confusing. The animation is fucking gorgeous, right? It is animated in a manner that makes it reminiscent to old 90s style animation, where there is more definition on the noses and things like this, and the eyes. There is a heavy mystery element to the show, and the mystery can I'm going to look over this way while Nasuth looks at a Wikipedia article based on the show. So I don't know. I don't want to fucking spoil it, Nasuth. I know that there has been a lot of concern about this series getting an adaptation, because it is still it's still being written and things, and I think the intent is that they're going to cover the whole series. But in all honesty, there's a lot of mystery and intrigue. So
they did Monster Girl Doctor. They also did Arena Vampire Cosmonaut, and Return of the Magic should be special.
Yeah. So the so he's talking about the studio, not the author.
Silver Studio.
So the whole premise is that effectively the Kowloon city is basically kind of a built-up slums. So everything's super boxed in. It's part of China, and it's effectively it's not fit for human habitation. The idea is that it was thrown together, and everyone just kind of amassed there. So it's kind of like a super city structure where everyone's kind of piled on top of each other. But there are periodic moments where people are acting odd when they're given an opportunity to move to a location, and instead of being like, oh, this is a great place, or oh, this is a dump, they act nonchalant, like nonplussed, is just like, I don't like this place. And so there's a lot of intrigue to why are people behaving this way.
Fuck, I saw, sorry, this still came up on the background, and suddenly I knew exactly what the show this was, because I've seen meme scenes of her painting the room.
Yes,
and her state of dress after doing it. Fucking, oh dear. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
Entirely necessary to the plot.
Sure. Anyway, so the whole point is, so the whole narrative is that you've got two real estate agents, our main protagonist and our main female, our main male and main female protagonist. But there is something strange about the story behind the female protagonist, and she is trying to unravel the mystery that is what appears to be her doppelganger, and that is somehow interwoven with our main male protagonist. But at the same time, she doesn't know whether or not she wants to unravel this mystery. She might be scared of what she finds. So yeah, it's honestly a very good series. The animation is gorgeous, and also there's this weird, I can't remember what the name of the angel is from Evangelion. You know the diamond angel,
Ramiel.
Yes, there's a weird diamond entity that is just floating up in the air, and it's just like, and people just seem to be okay with it. What the fuck is that thing?
It's
so,
the bit
honestly,
from Tron, the first Tron.
It's technically technically the thing I'm using to monitor Xeno.
So genuinely, I'm
also,
really.
I was going to say, also the one I'm using to make sure that Nasuth watches all these shows.
Oh, so I'm genuinely very interested in this series, and I think there's a lot of mystery and subterfuge going on with the whole thing, and so only time will tell. It might just flop massively, but I have high expectations.
Nice. All right, because this is one I did actually want to check out from one of the scenes I did see, so I didn't have time for it.
Is it the same one?
Probably.
No, it's not that one. Okay. I saw that one later.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the one where he wakes up and kisses her without realizing.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah. Anyway,
so Nasuth, let's get one out of the way that is already done. Let's get Devil May Cry out of the way.
Oh, okay. All right. Man, you're bouncing me all around here. Devil May Cry, a Netflix production, not precisely anime because it's made by a Western studio, but in the same vein as Castlevania, since it's the same studio, anime adjacent. So, yeah, might as well talk about it. And it is an acquired taste 2-star. Now, to be clear, I have never played any of the games. I don't really know anything about the story. So I'm going into this with only what they showed us. And it gets bonus points for having Kevin Conroy. That's the only reason it ranked this high, honestly. If you don't know who Kevin Conroy is, he was the voice of Batman in the old 90s animated series, as well as many, many other incarnations. Speaking of Batman, holy frame rate, Batman! The frame rate on some of these scenes drops really low sometimes. Did you notice that, Xeno?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah, and we're not talking about action scenes either. It does try to give the action scenes as many frames as it can, most of the time. But some of the other scenes, like, it's I swear, it's like 3 frames a minute. Yeah.
Oh, it's not that bad, but yeah, it's
yeah, it's 3s and 4s. This to me. Oh, sorry, I can always count on the intro being the worst thing in an episode, no matter how bad an episode gets. Intro, always the worst.
I found there's a lot of nostalgia for some of the soundtrack, not all.
Some of the soundtrack, but not a lot of it. Although I will say, I was really worried about Evanescence, and that part was actually really good. That whole episode was probably my favorite in the series. So this for the most part, this looks like it would like the people who made the Boondocks show from Adult Swim and the wing of WB in charge of DC cartoons teamed up to make an anime. That's what it looks like to me.
Okay. All right.
I think half of the budget went into getting Johnny Young Bosch and Kevin Conroy, and the other half went into licensing the songs. That's why we get animations on 3s and 4s. Now, it's been a while since I've watched this, so I couldn't probably tell you an exact scene, but there are a lot of mixes between really fun, well-animated moments and really kind of just blah, just bleh. There were a lot of moments where I was like, I love Kevin Conroy, but it's like, why did you use that line read, Kevin? Why didn't you go with a different take? Do you only do one take now?
Well, I mean, he kind of doesn't do any takes anymore, Nasuth.
Was this all AI?
No.
Oh.
He passed away.
Yeah, but
this was his last production before he passed away.
Oh, so they may just not have had more takes. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if you didn't notice, there were several lines in the early episodes that weren't even him. It wasn't even him. It was someone that they would try to get to, like, who's the most Kevin Conroy sounding person that clearly isn't Kevin Conroy.
But if you can get past those problems and focus on just the story and the action, it's actually pretty fun. I was mostly hooked by episode 4, especially, and then like super hooked by episode 6. I don't want to say why, because it's I think that's also where a fair amount of the budget went, was episode 6, because it was a vastly different art style.
Indeed.
Definitely a bold choice.
That change.
However, Rabbit really is just kind of a Batman villain, and then also a Superman villain, which really goes into the whole DC thing. But for the most part, if you just like dumb, predictable action, this is pretty good. Pretty good. Very predictable, but pretty good.
So do you want to take from somebody who has played the games fairly recently?
Sure, go for it.
I don't know if Xeno's played the... Xeno, have you played the games fairly recently?
No, I played 4 when it first came out on the 360. Right. I think 4 came out on the 360.
No, what was it? No, Xbox One was... I think it was 4. Oh, was it?
No, I think...
Gods, we're old.
No, I think you're thinking of DMC, which was the reboot one that failed.
Yeah, you're thinking of the that horrible
No, I'm
reboot.
talking about 4-4.
Yeah. Okay. So, from my take, it's actually a decent take on the DMC story, reimagining the setting from the games and the side characters, and it's using the villains, using the things from a mixture of the games, so that it can hit story beats and hit characters very, very well in this new setting, in this reimagined setting. It's a long way from the games in terms of that setting, but if you actually did play and like the games, you will like this because of the it's very faithful to who the characters are and what they would do in this changed situation. It scratches that little classical itch of when video games protagonists were awesome and had to be awesome to capture their audience of young teenage boys and things. And Devil May Cry has never really been accused of being complicated. It is the most complicated it ever got was DMC5, where Virgil hired Virgil's brother and Virgil's son to fight Virgil so he could become Virgil, featuring Virgil. And this is not a crack at you, Virgil, in case you're watching this. Okay? You're not that Virgil.
Different Virgil.
Yeah. But it's always been about the style over the substance, and this gives us that style over substance vibe. Even with some of the animation loss, it's all about the character doing cool things, not just And I think
not
that's
necessarily
very
smart things, just cool things.
No, not necessarily smart things. So yeah.
The interesting thing is, like, you are the only person that I have heard that has played Devil May Cry and actually liked this. A lot of the people that I know that have played Devil May Cry haven't liked it at all because it is not a faithful adaptation. And personally, I don't think you can get a faithful adaptation of Devil May Cry. That's like, a Half-Life anime would be awful because Gordon Freeman talks too much. Or like,
Castlevania wasn't a faithful adaptation of Castlevania.
Yeah, and I think this is the problem, is the fact that just because it's not a faithful adaptation doesn't mean it's not an enjoyable watch. I actually agree with your rating. I feel it needs significantly more Dante and a lot less Lady.
Yes.
But
although they did do a really good job with Lady's character.
Well, that's the thing, though. So at the sacrifice of Dante, we actually got a lot more world building and setting and everything.
Yeah.
Out of interest,
realistically, this was only 8 episodes. Realistically, this needed about 4 more episodes.
Yes.
Out of interest,
definitely.
though, Enzo, do you know where he's from?
No.
Oh, no, hang on. I do know this. Go on, tell me, because I'm drawing a blank. Yes.
He's the middleman for Bayonetta. He's got nothing to do with DMC. It's hilarious.
And Devil May Cry exist in the same universe. Confirmed.
Well, that's what they try. That's kind of what they're teasing out. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but again, like, it's an entertaining watch, just like season 1 of
it also ends on a cliffhanger
was,
which is a big downer.
Yeah,
but
right. But that's right. This is the biggest problem with everything that comes out of Netflix.
Yeah.
It's always going to end on a cliffhanger because they are trying to draw people in to have a season, a follow-up season, right?
Yeah. Hasn't season 2 been confirmed?
Season 2 has been confirmed, but if it doesn't get... So this is the problem, though. If there's not enough of a demand for a second season, anything by Netflix that gets a cliffhanger ending will have the shittest fucking reception ever because, like, there's no more coming. So there was one, I think it was called Glitch Text or something like this, and they literally they did exactly the same fucking thing. Ends on a cliffhanger. Oh, no more Glitch Text. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Well, yeah, that's Devil May Cry, isn't it, Nasuth?
Oh yeah. What rating would you? So Zeno and I agreed on the rating. What would you give it?
I would go a little bit higher with a 3.
Okay.
Fair.
Because that's because I liked the character representation from the games.
Right. So what should we make Thaylien do next? Country Bumpkin?
Country Bumpkin.
Okay, from Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman. This one, I'm actually going to put middle of the road for me with Acquired Taste 3. Okay, it's for me, it's well produced but standard fare so far. They're playing the characters very well. The fan service is minimal, just like the abs on the redhead and the slightly revealing clothing on one of the other characters. So that's about it. There's not really any fan service on this. And it's just the premise of the show played dead straight. And it works for me. Our main character is a swordsman from the country with a knack for training people. It just turns out that everyone he's trained fully has moved on to become something great, whether that's commander of a knight's order, a high-ranking adventurer, the subordinates of those people. One even joined the Magic Knights and has combined magic with her swordsmanship to be powerful. And so far, all this is these characters coming together to draw him out of the countryside and into their lives again, because they all really want him to do well and show that he can be a trainer for all the other people. And all he's had to do is prove that he is as skilled as they say he is. I've seen this particular kind of story told before a dozen different ways, and some with way too much fan service, some with way worse formats. So this is actually a nice thing to see it done just, sensibly. They're keeping the swordsmanship grounded in skill-based stuff, like finding that if somebody comes leaping at you twirling, then you just go past him in the opposite direction because he's got his back turned to you and he won't be able to see you. That kind of sensible thing, if you've got the reaction time for it. He doesn't have magical superpowers on top of anything. He's just more skilled at swordsmanship than these other people. There is a slightly inappropriate theme running through, where every girl he's trained appears to have some romantic interest to some degree or other in him. And the lowest age gap, the smallest age gap, appears to be the red-headed adventurer girl, who I think she was around 10 when she was found outside his village, and he would have been a slightly older teen based on this. So the highest their age gap could be is 10 years. And everyone else that is introduced as slightly romantically interested in him appears to be massively younger than that. He's like
what
30,
is the
40
formula?
years old.
It's like half your age plus 7, I think, is the formula.
Yes, exactly that. And so, but so far that's just used as a tool in the story to show how super humble and not romantically interested in him that he is, right? Every time they say something a little sus, people turn around to them and say, "Oh, did you say something?" And they say, "No, nothing. I didn't say anything." I mean, all in all, it's a fair animation. It's nice characters, average story, but I like it the way it's being played. It's just playing the premise. The Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman. He's a Master Swordsman that lived in the countryside. He doesn't think he's all that strong because he never beat his father in a match. But his father's an old man now, so he can't really have a fair fight. And he's just a little more skilled than the people he comes up against. And that's all it takes for him to be worth, keeping around and training the new generation and things. So I think I'll keep watching this one. As far as a slightly action-based slice of life is going, it's fairly interesting to me.
Okay.
So I actually rate this slightly higher. I would actually, yeah. So to me, this series is I parry everything, right? But not a bumbling fucking moron, right?
He's just humble in this one.
It's really interesting because so he doesn't have complete faith in his own ability. However, when he sees an opportunity, he recognizes it and takes it, right?
Yes.
He doesn't have a true understanding of the measure of his prowess. Yeah. But he thinks that, like, you know, when he sees talent, he's just like, you know, he believes that he's below that, but in reality, he is... you know, it's like he's being attacked with fireballs, and he's like, he doesn't try to deflect the fireballs, or because it's fucking fire. Yet you throw ice at him, and like he will slice that thing in half, right?
Yes.
He's like, I can do this.
Yes.
So the animation can be rough at times. It's really odd when you're watching characters just remain perfectly still in a scene, while the thing that draws your attention away is moving ever so slightly. Yet, when it comes to combat, some of the animation is just like, holy crap.
Super smooth in some cases.
Not just that, but exceptionally stylized. Like, they could have gone for a simple angle, but they didn't. They actually went for a complicated one. They really do try their hardest. So, the series actually has a lot... They put their budget where it needs to go. There's a lot... I will say, though, the Japanese voice for our main protagonist does my head in. He sounds way too young for someone... Yeah, for someone in his 40s, he sounds way too young.
Okay, fair enough.
He sounds like someone in his late teens trying to be in his 40s.
Really?
Oh, yeah, so me on an average day. Got it.
Well, but yeah, so I very much enjoy this series. It is everything good about about I Parry Everything, and then none of the bad
with a sensible, wholesome, and supportive main character.
Yeah. So I very much enjoy this series. So.
Nice. All right, so let's go to one that you don't enjoy then, Xeno.
Oh, did we say the name for that one? That was from Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman.
Yes, let's go for a Can a Boy Girl Friendship Survive, Xeno. Can it survive?
Had to get there eventually.
Oh my god. Okay, this
I think I just clicked something by accident. That's not what I want to click on.
This is... We have negative stars. I want to have negative stars.
You can have a what the fuck.
I just... This is a 1 star, nothing special, right? Like, I get the no. That's too gracious. No, this is a 3-star pass.
Oh.
No, this is a 3-star pass, right? I can't in good conscience give it a higher rating, right? The whole premise of this is that our main male protagonist wants to become an artisan. He wants to become a jewel crafter, right? He wants to create things rather than just go play sports, right? And he was inspired during the events of his childhood where he met a girl who was crying at a... Oh, fuck, what are they called? A botanical garden, right? And, you know, he tried to cheer her up and everything, and he succeeded in doing so. But then he kind of got interested in doing jewel crafting and things like this, and he wanted to open up his own jewel crafting store and everything, and he wanted the support of his family. So they said, if you can sell 100 items at your school, we will support your ventures into jewel crafting, right? And he was struggling to sell anything. He loved creating them, but he couldn't sell anything, right? And it wasn't until this girl randomly happened upon his stuff that she started promoting it for him, and he was able to actually achieve his goal of selling his stuff. Then he's been basically doing so. This was in middle school. Skip forward to high school, and he's still doing it. But he ends up coming across the girl that was in the botanical garden, right? So they start like hanging out more. He starts making more jewelry for her, and the friend that is, I'm just a friend. She's starting to get like super fucking jealous, and it's the frustration of just fucking. Oh no, we're just friends. We're just friends. Then if you're just friends, why are you getting so fucking pissy with him? Right? Why are you treating him like utter garbage? Why are you being a bitch? Right? And I fucking hate it.
He looks good with ribbons in his hair.
Right? Well, I mean, he's busy concentrating, trying to do this stuff. And, like, he's in the zone, and she's just fucking with him. She's just putting ribbons in his hair. Right? And, like, she has no legitimate reason to throw the toys out of the proverbial pram because she refuses to acknowledge she actually has romantic feelings for the guy.
It's a case of negative attention is better than no attention to some people. They act out because it still gets them the attention that they want. It's just negative attention rather than the positive attention they really want.
There's a difference. Like you and I, right? We'll play Helldivers 2 and we'll shoot each other. We'll do it for the lols. We'll dick about.
No, that's completely different.
And things. Right, but that's just a friendship. That is a friendship, right?
Yeah.
That is. But she is.
She wants to be his girlfriend, right? But she can't admit it. But she still wants that attention that is being taken away from her, right? So she acts out to get attention. It's just negative attention.
Not only that, it's when she's scolded by her brother, who's like, if you actually like him, fucking acknowledge it. Right?
Yeah, but that could ruin the friendship.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, so there you go. I fucking hate this bollocks. Yeah. The animation is all over the place as well, right? Like, we said to the point of
Devil May Cry,
Country Bumpkin, to
right.
That animation is all over the place. The animation in this is all over the place. Look at the detailing on the guy's face right now. It looks awful. Like where the fuck is he looking? Right? Like I can't tell which way his nose is going. Right? It's but at other times it's like, oh, the animation looks really clean. Right? But like this is just effectively a slice of life rom-com, right? Like, what's so hard to animate? Yeah, what's so fucking hard to animate? Right? Oh, it's all right because when she puckers her lips, they look extra bouncy. How often are we gonna fucking get? Anyway,
it looked like she's had way too much Botox.
Oh my god. Yeah. So that I'm. This is one of the ones I'm dropping. I can't keep up with this social train wreck because it is going to be all season of like, oh, but do I like him? I don't know if I like.
Yeah, literally the worst type. I may understand it, but I still don't like it.
No, I don't like it. Anyway, there you go.
Alrighty.
So do you want Cyberpunk Future? Do you want Cyberpunk Future or weird isekai? Maybe
Teogonia.
You've mentioned Teogonia like 4 times in this list, so let's talk about that one.
Right. So, oh god, this is such a weird one, but in the end, it
even matter?
No, it doesn't even matter. it gets a nothing special 3-star.
Oh, really?
Now, it's got like it's got some interesting ideas, and I will go into those. But these ideas are on such a childish level that it's boring to me. It's Avatar. It's dumbed down Avatar with blood. Okay. It reminds me a lot of Sengoku Yoko or Haigakura, both of which I dropped, but a little better. It's got less annoying characters. There's a little bit of mystery going on that those other shows didn't really have. I mean, Haigakura tried to, but it didn't really. Unfortunately, by episode, so the basic premise is that our main character gets these weird memories of our world in the future. But he lives in a sort of semi-rural, not medieval Japan, but close enough. And there are monsters that attack them regularly, and some people have these god crests that appear, and they can fight extra hard. And when you kill the enemies, the monsters, you steal their hearts and you drink the liquid that's inside, and it replenishes spiritual energy. And most people only get a little bit, but people with god crests get a lot because they're supposed to get stronger to help protect people better. And the crests coincide. I think that's the right word. Or they're connected to land gods that actually control different parts of the land. We don't have any explanation of what those are exactly beyond that. And their power is essentially based on how active people are there, you know, how well they tend to the land, how much they believe in the god, all those sorts of things. Except that our main character finds one out in the middle of nowhere that he doesn't even realize is a land god at first, and ends up making a pact with it as he's dying to keep from dying, and he gets all this extra power. Now this is after he's already had memories of the past, and also after he's already figured out by using these memories, knowing that there's a thing called magic in our world, that he can produce fire using his own spiritual energy. So both of those things happen, and then he makes the pact with the land god. And there's also potentially hints that he might also be the avatar of a different god called the arbitration god, but that's they haven't gone any further into that. It may or may not be connected to why he's getting memories from our world. I don't know. They still haven't explained that either, which is kind of annoying. There also have been at least 2 times when there have been a line in the subtitles that clearly is meant to be spoken because our characters react to it, that appears nowhere in the audio. Not very promising. The relationship with the gods that I kind of discussed is kind of neat, and I enjoy that bit of world building, but it's not really unique in any way either. Aimed at a younger preteen audience, trying to aim at boys and girls with his message of girls can fight too, because the princess, oh god, her hair has really bad animation. Anyway, sorry, princess, she's like, even though she's connected to a weak god that is whose land has been abandoned, she still wants to be able to fight. She still wants to get stronger. Her dream is to like revitalize that village and bring it back to life. But yes, so as to her hair, the animation is okay for the most part. But like, I don't think we have a picture of her. I haven't seen one scroll across. I'll admit I haven't been looking too closely. But she's got like white hair, and it's done up so there are these 2 tails that come down in front that are held in by like little golden
like the bead type things.
Yeah. And the ends of those, they're supposed to look like it's flat, like it's cut right there all the way across, but it looks like instead a ring and a hole inside, like a cone sort of thing. It just it looks awful. And there's also the love triangle.
God, no, I know that. Sorry, there's actually a haircut style where you take the hair into a bunch and you cut into it with scissors to actually make it hollow.
That's not what it is.
To give it that much more flat look.
Oh, here she is. Here she is.
No. Yes, there she is. So that's probably imitating. They're trying to imitate that by making it look like a cone on the inside.
But it doesn't look like that all the time, is the thing. So, I don't know which one it's supposed to be. There's also the start of a love triangle or potentially a harem, which again, instant turn off to me. If it wasn't already mid, this would seal the deal for me. I'm dropping this one. But it is nothing special. I mean, there is stuff there if you're really looking for a fantasy anime with power stuff, power fantasy stuff going on, then you have some time. You're done. You haven't watched. You've watched everything else already. Go for it.
Yeah. Watch some of our more recommended stuff first. Then, if you've completely bored and you're stuck at home, go watch this because it'll fill some time.
Yeah. Probably wait till it's all out and binge it.
Okay. So that was
Teogonia.
So we know we want to finish mine with Gundam. So we've got a choice between two.
Hentai or
standard fantasy stuff.
Do the one that you're apparently not dropping.
Kakushite Makina-san. Okay. So Kakushite Makina-san, I am watching this for the dub because I want to give a shout out to the absolute GOAT, PM Seymour, for landing the role of the main character. He's an amazing voice actor. I love him to bits. And that's the only reason I'm watching this, just to support him.
Poor guy.
So, all right, this is I can't believe it's not hentai. And this one, I really can't believe it's not hentai.
Is she cross-eyed there?
Okay. No, she's concentrating on him. Like, he's right in front of her and she's looking at him closely.
She's cross-eyed there.
Well, so you go cross-eyed when you look at something really closely.
Nope.
Anyway, this is also a Nothing Special 4. It's straight up softcore. The female lead is literally an android designed to seduce men, and she spends 90% of her screen time in the first 3 episodes completely naked and attempting to get the male lead to sleep with her. However, it's actually a little bit funny. I mean, because Makina, the android, has a limiter placed on her software that's preventing her from actually just going out and looking up things about sex. She's been tasked with attending school as a normal high schooler, as an ordinary teenager, and to learn the normal way how to interact with people and how to seduce men. And on screen is the most dressed she is in most of the show. About, hello, what's up?
Tasked by who?
We don't know yet. The people who created her. That's a mystery. She just said, because this just sounds
like corny chobits.
Yeah, so she goes home one day and her house blows up.
Wait.
So she goes home
android's
one day
house blows up.
Yes, and our main character hears the explosion in the distance, wonders what the fuck it is, and goes home very quickly and finds her sitting on his doorstep. The reason being that he is the only person that she thinks that she can trust, because when they met in the meet cute at the start, he is trying to get an AI to drive a small robot around, and it falls down some stairs, and he leaps down the stairs to protect the robot and lands on his, holding it on his back. He injured himself to save the robot, and so she thinks that she can trust him because he will protect a robot over himself.
How the fuck does she know where he lived?
Because she's an android and can just look it up from the student database.
But you can't look up what porn is.
Nope, that's exactly the point. So he's wholesome and humble and demure and doesn't want to have sex with her at the moment. And it's the consistent joke is that she just wants to experience what she's supposed to be created for, which is to just have sex and seduce men and get intel from them as an infiltrator robot. But she can't do that because she's been inhibited from doing that by her creator, and so she has to learn it the hard way by actually going out and finding people. And this is trouble because, of course, the main character doesn't want to do that with her. Well, he does, but he thinks that should happen after dating a bit. Okay. If I want to see anime titties without the blue balling, I can find it. If I want to watch anime with a bit of fan service, I can find it. If it picks up an actual plot by episode 6, I'll carry on watching it, but if it doesn't, I will drop it. Okay, it's just I just wanted to support my boy PMC more.
Hopefully this opens up new opportunities for him.
The joke is kind of funny, I've got to admit, with the simple fact that this is an android created for a purpose and has been tasked by somebody to learn about it like a normal high schooler would learn about it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah, nothing special for.
Hey, at least they're age appropriate this time for each other.
Yes, that's the thing. Well, apart from I think she's 3.
Okay, but
yeah.
She's a robot.
Yes, Kakushite Makina-san. Definitely this close to hentai.
Yeah, but she's a robot, and it's okay because she can't use a computer to Google shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
This is stupid.
Xeno, save us. You talk about, please put them on Takamine-san.
Oh, God, fucking Christ, no. Oh.
Back to back.
No, you don't want to put them back to back. That's not a 6-9. That's more a 96.
Please put them on Takamine-san. I'm surprised this even fucking exists.
Is it not hentai?
This, yeah, 100%. This, I can't believe this isn't hentai. I swear to the fucking Christ. So this is a 3-star pass. This is one of the ones I'm dropping. Right? Because, okay. So here's the important thing. Right? When it comes to my caliber of degeneracy, right? When I am watching a show for fan service, that has fan service, I don't want it to be the only bloody thing in the show, right?
When it needs to be really a lot of comedy or some real good plot, like real plot.
Yeah, action, or So I get a lot of criticism for liking High School Double D, right? But the fights in High School Double D are actually genuinely really good, right? And I love the fact that it's using different deities and different religions, and even the fact that you got a Welsh and English dragon that are fighting each other, right? But it has excessive amounts of fan service. The High School Double D is infamous for its fan service, right? Please put them on. Takamine-san is nothing shy of some weird fetish from the author, right? So the idea is that our perfect president of the school, Takamine-san, can rewrite history by taking off her underwear. Right? I'm not kidding. So she takes off her underwear and she can rewrite history and change the score on an exam. So basically she performs better in the exam. Or she rewrites history and instead of doing forward stroke, she does the backstroke in a swimming competition. Or when she's reading a piece of poetry, she waits 2 seconds so that a breeze comes in the window at the right time to make it that to emphasize her reading better and shit. Like it is the most vain shit to rewind time for. But the thing is, when she takes off her underwear is just gone, right? And she's going commando.
She needs sacrifices a panty boy to carry them for her, carry extra ones for her.
Nasuth. Calling him a panty boy is giving him too much credit. He is her closet. That is what she literally calls him, right? And the idea, I'm one episode, she has him putting on her underwear in the middle of class. She can't put it on herself, right? He can't just hand it to her and she puts it on. I know. Why
can't she just wait until later when she's home and do it? Is there a time limit on how far back she can go?
No. But she can only rewind time by taking off her underwear. So if she's not wearing any underwear, she can't rewind time. She wants to be able to do it multiple times in a day. Not so like if she had to do it like during lunch or when she got home, she could only do it twice a day.
Ask her to the bathroom and do it there.
I don't fucking
and keep a stash of panties somewhere.
Right, but so he has to put her underwear on her while so he drops his eraser so it lands near her 3 seats back so he can go like there is no way in fucking hell no one would notice, right? It is so stupid, right? Not only that, but you could if you're watching it, you can see on screen right now we've got this weird rainbow butterfly thing, right? Effectively, there is a transformation sequence whenever she rewinds time. The last episode had 3 or 4 of these, and it's just like, no, this is like what you get one. It played the whole thing. It didn't speed it up. It didn't cut bits out. It played the whole fucking thing, right? And like the animation, like I swear they blew the entire budget on her in the first episode because I'm sorry, this is just such a thinly disguised fetish, and it's no, this is bad. This is not okay.
Exhibitionism and forced embarrassment, secondhand embarrassments for the main character.
Yeah.
And then top that off with the frivolous nature of everything she's doing. The only character arc they could go through is her learning to do things for important stuff and only important stuff, and do it for other people's sake instead of her own. That's the only character arc they could go through, and that could be done in 4 episodes if you wanted. It could be done in a movie length. It could be a 90-minute movie. Could do that.
There's so many things wrong with this. There's so many logical reasons that this shouldn't even happen.
I'm like, you can't get away with this stuff, right? You can't. I cannot suspend my disbelief hard enough to believe that this is so stupid. This is just unfathomably. Like, the first episode, Second episode, it's still a bit funny. Third episode, nah. Fourth episode, what the fuck even? I'm switching off my brain. My brain's done. I just can't. No, I'm gonna watch. Nah, so I'm dropping this. This is done. There you go. That was unfortunately. Right. Please put them on Takamine-san.
Please turn it off, Takamine-san.
Please turn me off.
Right. Well, since I'm saving Lazarus for last,
just as a final note, though, Look at this one on screen, and if you're listening to this, come see this one at that time. The faces.
Yeah,
I've seen anime faces where they put the mouth on the side of the mouth, on the side of the face. That was to the extreme. I've seen way too much skin between the actual mouth and the edge of the face. That just doesn't happen. Anyway, moving on. Let's get...
Yes, let's do your Forma.
My Forma? Is this Warframe?
You would think that. No, this is trying to be Ghost in the Shell. But no.
I
mean, it's all right. This was gonna be a Nothing Special 4, but by the end of episode 3, it did manage to lift my expectations a little bit, just a little bit, to an acquired taste. Oh, hang on, I gotta click that. Acquired taste 0, just barely edged into the category. It's got a lot of style, not as much style as Lazarus, but a lot of style. But let's see if it can continue adding substance. So far, it hasn't added a huge amount of substance. It instead has shades of Gene of AI as well as Metallic Rouge, neither of which were very good in my opinion. I mean, Metallic Rouge was okay, but wasn't great. So those are both kind of because it's got instead of a set of anthology stories, which you had in A Gene of AI, it's a single mystery, which is much more like a Metallic Rouge. And also AI that can break their protocols, apparently, because that's how the whole mystery starts. There's one robot that shot at a person. They're not supposed to be able to do this. They don't exactly have the Asimov laws, but they have something very similar, although it is missing the zeroth law, which is always a problem. And
or the maid laws of robotics, say Xeno.
Oh.
It is moving a little quickly. I wish it would linger a little bit more on some of this stuff, but that's preferable to taking too long in this case. It's really trying to push this idea of, can she trust her partner? Our main character, can she trust her partner? Because he is one of these particular models of robot that one of them went crazy and shot at somebody. He's supposed to be part of a new generation. There were only three models of them made. They consider themselves kind of brothers in a weird way. And the idea is that other androids, other AIs, emulate human emotions and stuff like that. They feel real, but if you dig deep enough, they're not. That you can find areas where they just aren't. But these are supposed to have such a huge memory bank and processing power that even though they start out that way, they can develop to be more human-esque. But they don't tell anyone that. The person that made these doesn't tell anyone that. The official line is that they're just like the others. Excuse me 1 second. I think I've got that backwards now, so you're... Yeah. There we go. Sorry. Oh god. Our main character does this thing called brain... She's part of a cyber security organization. She does a thing called brain diving, and the only where she can literally go into somebody else's brain and look at their memories and stuff. The only reason she can do it as well as she can is because she's apparently got a really interesting brain that makes her better at this than anyone else, but it also makes it impossible for her to do it without a robot companion that can help process the information that she's sending and gathering. She has an incredible thigh gap. Like, her pelvis must be so misshapen. I do not understand how she walks. I don't think we have any pictures of it. I should have gotten one to put it in the assets. But it is so distracting every time it's on screen. I'm just like, no, that's not... You can't... Oh my god. You know how sometimes you got those impossibly short skirts on anime characters, and yet their thighs are still going straight down like sticks? It's like that, but in pants. So you can actually see it.
Right.
We've also got there's an interesting divide between the highly advanced civilization that's got AI and integrated technology and like augmented reality lenses in their eyes and all that fun stuff, all the kind of stuff that you expect from a good sci-fi show. But it's also got a Luddite society that kind of rejects all this. They still got like telephones and even some gas-powered lamps in a couple places, which is interesting. But most of them do use electricity. They're not that Luddite. And it's nice. It's a nice counterpoint to the highly technical society. But yeah, so there's a whole mystery going on. I don't fully understand it. It's not just that one of them shot at a human. It's trying to uncover something else. It's also trying to do the whole, can AI be really human? Can it actually evolve beyond its limitations and whatnot? So it's interesting, but I'm also not sure I'm going to keep up with this one. So, Ghost in the Shell, you are not.
Huh. Mm-hmm. It's trying to be Ghost in the Shell meets Pluto, and they're not succeeding.
Yes.
Yeah, so my next one will be the Brilliant Healer's New Life in the Shadows. Now, where'd I put my review for that one? Brilliant Healer's New Life in the Shadows is an Acquired Taste 1 star.
Sorry, hold on 2 seconds. Trying to fucking find it.
Guy with the orange collar.
It's generic protagonist, man.
Yep.
Yes, it's standard protagonist, man.
What'd you give it?
I gave it an Acquired Taste 1 star. So, having read the available parts of this online of the original manga, I can see they've taken a little bit of liberty with the opening. And for once, that's actually made it better. It isn't usually the case. They start fairly well for one of these shows. They introduce the important characters, take the second episode to show how they got there, and the third episode is dedicated to solving the immediate problem that's presented from them being where they are. It's the first hurdle of the main character's new life. Sadly, this is still a generic, powerful person was let go from his party because they didn't understand how powerful he is story. Yeah. So this is standard fare for that. This guy is a healer, and he's been consistently underpaid and abused by his party because he's best friends with the leader. Or he thought he was best friends with the leader. The leader was just using him because in this world, much like in our world, healers, doctors, have to have a license, have to have training, go to med school and do all these other things, right, to learn their craft. And he's self-taught, right? So he never figured out what the limits were supposed to be, so he's just taught himself what he needs to know to get something done. His only real skills are healing and magic that helps him like operate on people to heal them, and defending himself from danger, because the party would quite often like throw him into a dungeon ahead of times to see what was there, and so he'd get attacked by stuff. So he's got some really powerful self-defense magic.
Oh no, it's the Yandere Dark Elf!
No, Yandere Orc in this case. But the second he gets into his new life, people start praising him for what he's done, what he can do, right? Everyone points out just how amazing his power is, and he just kind of he's kind of going along. His goal is to live a life where he can just get paid properly for the work he does. But without a license at from the Healers Guild, he can't do that, so that's why he's in the shadows. He's an underground healer. But it's in terms of the actual show, I'm actually liking the pacing and the comedic timing. In the third episode, there's a moment where a knight of the realm is sent down to investigate why suddenly all the hoodlums in the slums are getting along, and it's because he's basically broken a peace by saying, no, if you keep attacking each other, I'm just going to heal everybody. So what's the point in you attacking each other? You know, which is a fairly good way of solving the violence. And they start getting along. And so she's sent to investigate. She gets here, she talks to him saying, hang on, I'm kind of lost. I'm looking for this guy. And the little elf girl that we saw earlier is kind of like his ward. He's saved her from slavers, and she makes tea for the guests now, and is just living a happy little life. When she comes into the room and says, "Oh, have we got a guest? Oh, I should get some tea." This knight glances at her, realizes she's an elf, and immediately turns and just shoots the healer in the face. Because last time that elf was seen, she was a slave, and so he must be a slave owner. You know, because she's got magical guns. It's literally just, it's this thing of, notices the ears, and just straight in his face, cloud of magical dust everywhere. He's going to be fine, of course. He's got the defensive magic, but it's really good dramatic timing. It's this comedy timing of, oh, you must be a bad person. Right, shoot you in the face. So this is not a well-animated show. Xeno would hate it. It's not to the point of the other PNG shows of this that we've been memeing on. It's just the regular case of the main characters get the budget, the background characters don't. You know? So when there's a big fight where he decides that he's going to heal everybody and stop them from killing each other, there's the background characters going rah with axes and like hacking at each other, and there's almost no shading on them whatsoever, and they're on threes. And so it's the worst. It's not the very worst we've ever seen, but it's like the bottom of the barrel kind of fight scene for what it could have been. So it only gets the 1 star in the acquired taste for that. But I think it's going to be an average show, potentially end up in nothing special by the end, but has been enjoyable for those the comedic timing and the bits we have seen. So, the brilliant healers, New Life in the Shadows.
Here's a completely off-topic question that I don't know if we could turn into a topic at some point. Would you rather see animation that's on 3s and 4s, or the old style where they do like the single frame that zooms up across the screen like 3 times or whatever to show action? Hilariously, that's the biggest complaint that people have had about the battle after the end.
Yeah.
The beginning after the end. Sorry. It's just the fact that they're not animating anything. It's just pan shots of stills. No, not a pan shot. Remember? So like in the old days of anime,
I get that. The original Diver had it as well. Yes, no, I know.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, it's similar. Personally, I think I'd rather the multi-pan.
Yeah, with those backgrounds, they just color shift to make sure that you see who's, that they're moving fast.
Yeah, it's difficult, but like I don't know.
I think I would too, honestly.
Yeah.
I think I'd prefer implied action to bad action.
Yeah, those shots after the impact has happened, and then the character like falls over or whatever. The old animation time-saving ones that they used to do.
Yeah. Anyway, just completely off topic. So we've already spent way too long on these reviews.
Yes. Oh. So let's. So what do you want to finish on? So what's your second to last?
Okay, so I'm going to be doing Yaiba, Samurai Legend.
Yeah, I knew he'd want to end on Moonrise.
Right, so this is a really, really interesting series. It's done by Wit Studio, and it looks absolutely phenomenal, right? I would describe this as Shaman King meets Ranma half, right? This, I am not the target demographic of this, right? But I'd easily put this as a 5-star acquired taste, right? I am not going to continue. I'm not going to continue watching it, but I think that the production here is so damn good. I wouldn't be surprised if Thaylien would want to pick this up. The premise is very similar to, as I said, it's a cross between oh god, Shaman King and Ranma half, right?
Yes.
Ranma half in the sense that, you know, they're training, they're trying to become stronger, but this is all about kendo and stuff like this. So Yaiba, who has lived with his father out in the jungle for the longest time possible, like they are learning how to fight using bamboo swords, and Yaiba is trying to defeat the king of the jungle, this gorilla, right? And he does it through, I suppose, kind of like trickery and things like this, because he doesn't conform to any traditional rules to kendo and things like this, because, well, I mean, the gorilla's not going to fucking adhere to those rules. So there's a lot of fighting and stuff like this, and ultimately he and his father and their tiger end up going to Japan. They end up getting caught up in some banana crates and get shipped off to Japan, to which they're trying to be arrested and I don't know, exported, fuck knows. But like, as the narrative predicts it, the father's old school rival, is also at the airport and rushed off. Actually, that's the rival. You know, they basically rush off back to his house with his daughter and so on and so forth. It turns out they run a dojo, and the agreement is they can stay there if Yaiba beats their best kendo player. It's like a kendo artist?
Fighter.
Yeah. It's kind of like a martial artist, but yeah.
Kendo practitioner.
Sure, yeah, that's practitioner. And Yaiba just completely kicks his ass. Right? Utterly kicks his ass. But the female protagonist, who I genuinely cannot remember her name because she is so inconsequential, she ends up going to school, and Yaiba just follows her. Yaiba then challenges the head of the school's kendo team, to which they have an insanely good fight atop of this atop of this bus. And there's been a lot of comparisons between the original anime that was done, I think, in the 90s, and this one produced by Wit Studio. This is like really high production value and everything. It's honestly, I think this is Wit. Am I correct in believing this? Yeah, it is Wit Studio. Honestly, I think it's really, really good production, and you know, if you like Shaman King, so I keep on trying to remember the damn name, Shaman King and Ranma half, I think you'll like this, but neither of those two anime truly appeal to me. So yeah.
Huh. What is Ranma half?
Fair enough.
I only know about Ranma 1/2.
I'm gonna fly over there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna slap you.
I'm gonna do more than that.
So that was Yaiba Samurai Legend. Time to talk about Lazarus.
Yeah, time to get into the big ones.
The big three, you might say. So Lazarus is honestly, man, this is a hard one to rate. But I came down on eventually Acquired Taste 2, which I know is really low for something Shinichiro Watanabe worked on, but it is drowning in aesthetic, but at the cost of the depth of its story and characters, in my opinion.
Yes.
So this
I rated it higher, but I agree.
This is Cowboy Bebop with an opioid crisis plus an ecological crisis on a budget. So it's got that Watanabe style, but like some of the scenes are just, you look at them and you're like, I don't know about that one.
There's a degree of uncanny valley to the movement of some of the shots.
Yeah.
I thought of it while I was actually watching other things last night. It looks like they've animated it to look like a live action movie would, where, you know, they're pulling their punches, they're not hitting to full strength into the thing, and they're doing a stylish move that looks like it connects on the camera, but the other actor is just reacting to it, you know? So like he'll spin through the air and kick somebody in the face, and that it's almost like the other person has just gone instead of actually getting hit.
But even
by
like the prison escape in the first episode, there were some really weird shots during that, some really weird sections.
Mm-hmm.
But overall it's okay. The cars also look kind of weird, but it's okay. A lot of aesthetic in the actual like scenery and stuff. Overall, the voice acting's fine. It's not top notch. It's fine. Xeno, it's fine. It's fine. It's not great. It's fine. But it's hard not to yearn for those Bebop voices, because these are basically the Bebop crew.
No, right. Every character, right, except for the main character, has had a good pick of actor, right? The main character is awful, right?
Yeah, he's awful.
Even the side characters, even the people off the street, even throwaway characters have a better caliber of actor than
he's all right.
I think that's just a directorship thing. It's not actually him delivering the voice lines badly. I think he's been tasked with delivering them in a certain way.
His microphone sounds awful. It's like, oh well, you know, shoestring budget. Like, oh, your audio sounds like ass. Let me send you a good microphone. No.
Yeah, fair enough. One thing I did like, this is what made me think of the movie, of making it look like a movie thing, was the chase across the city, right? None of the parts of it seemed connected, which made me think of those ones in city chases, like in the James Bond ones and things, where they've got places they're allowed to film, and they can't, and so they don't actually connect to each other. So they've just got to try and make it look like they connect. So they cut away in the right time so that he can then get down from where he's been filming one thing and then be climbing another place. You know,
well, it's like it looks
like it should connect.
That's movie storytelling.
Yeah.
For a lot
as opposed to an anime where they could have done.
You just need to show.
An anime could have done a pullback wide shot to show where he's run from to where he's running to, in a sense.
I think they wanted to have time skip without having to show all that, so he gets further than you think he has.
It just kind of made you disconnected with the actual scene, just again, it's more aesthetic than actual substance again.
That didn't bother me.
The fact that it's animated on 3s and 4s is being a fucking bigger disconnect.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, well, that didn't bother me so much, but there's always at least one moment in an episode that knocks me out of it. In episode 2, it was Axel being shown around their hideout, which is, their hideout's a little silly, but I like it anyway. It fits in with the vibe. And then suddenly, after being shown around the inside, he's shown how to get in. And it's like, is that a flashback? Is that how did he get in if he doesn't know how to get?
He was in already. He was inside already when he woke up. Remember?
Oh, I don't know. It just felt a little weird. In episode 3,
taking him outside to show him how to get in.
Maybe
then how
it just felt.
In?
It just felt a little weird and out of through
the window
anywhere.
Yeah, but it's got a shield up.
You seriously see the cat climbing through the window.
Yeah.
How did it get inside the shield?
In episode 3, it was them saying that there was a hack to make 100,000 people look like Skinner, so that he wouldn't have had to have plastic surgery. And I was like, but why not both? Why not make 100,000 people look like him and get plastic surgery so that you're really chasing dead ends? And it's just...
Yes.
And then the last point I had was, while I really like the music, because it is great, awesome jazz music, the fact that it's almost constantly playing is a little bit oppressive. It's a little on the oppressive side.
Can just a crackpot theory? Our bad guy is actually Skinner is the blind guy in the 3rd episode that they were trying to talk to.
Oh, maybe.
So have you seen this guy? And he said, no, that guy's blind. He can't see anything. I bet that's just Skinner. He's been there the entire time.
Yeah, I kind of felt the exact same thing. Like, okay, so the problem I have with this series is the fact that it felt like someone higher up in Adult Swim went, "Hey, do you know what we like? We like Cowboy Bebop. Make us Cowboy Bebop again, right?" And the fact that when you did the comparison of in your like early initial statements, like, this is like Cowboy Bebop meets something, really
Cowboy
screams
Bebop with an opioid crisis.
Yeah, this really screams to the fact that this is what they were targeting, and they have missed the beat. Right? They shouldn't have hired. Is this is Madhouse, isn't this? Yeah, this is Madhouse.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm 99% sure it's Madhouse. The fact that they hired Shinichiro Watanabe.
Yeah.
Shinichiro. The fact that Shinichiro Watanabe. The fact that they have brought him in when he has had no control over the IP of Cowboy Bebop or anything else, right? Any of his stuff, because it's basically Production IG that like own his stuff, because he was really early days anime and manga and things like that. Like, they could have just fucking done Cowboy Bebop the early days, right? Like, they wanted a Cowboy Bebop successor, but at what cost? Genuinely.
There was a really
part of the thing about Cowboy Bebop was, despite the fact it's episodic content, was the fact that it didn't have too much effort put into the overarching plot until it mattered.
Yeah.
And so it was just things that you could drift along with and enjoy. Whereas this, having the false urgency of this chase that they're going through, and constantly saying 29 days to go, 28 days to go, removes the ability for these characters to just get to know each other. They're just these guys just have to work together. They're being forced to, Suicide Squad style.
The motivation behind anyone makes no... Like, why the fuck did Skinner even announce anything? Like, you just wiped out all of fucking... You could have just said nothing at all. What was his goal in actually saying anything?
I think the idea is to shake people up and make them realize that what they're doing is bad. But anyway, there's this really good meme that showed like several different Watanabe shows, and it was like, this is Cowboy Bebop, this is other Cowboy Bebop with X thing, this is other Cowboy Bebop with X thing, this is Cowboy Bebop with the opioid crisis. That's how I got that particular connection. But I can't find that meme anywhere anymore. I didn't save it. Yeah, like I gotta say, I much prefer the episodic content of his stuff than the overall. Like, I genuinely think that, because I think this only has like
8 or 10 episodes. I think it's just going to fall flat.
Not.
Yeah, no, seriously, it's not a full season. It's not a full core. 100%. It's like, I think 10 episodes. Oh no, it says number of episodes 13. I'm sorry, Nasuth. I spooked you for no reason. It says here that it's going to have 13 episodes. I don't know. Like, I just don't. I don't have high hopes for this at all.
Yeah, same. I was so psyched about it. I mean, we've covered this so much on Kanpai News. And even though I was a little worried about some of the running animation in those early scenes that we saw, I was still really... Because it's Shinichiro Watanabe. He's got to do good stuff. No.
Well, I mean, a lot of people rate Samurai Champloo really, really highly. I don't.
Well, I mean, he did a lot of other stuff. I was just looking at his page, and he's done a lot of stuff. That was
I
really
rate it quite highly.
He did Space Dandy. I mean...
Yes,
I did not like Space Dandy at all.
I loved Space Dandy for just a couple of the episodes. Some of the other ones were not very good, but a couple of the episodes just got me right with that magic.
Dandy and the cat are too similar. They're two dysfunctional characters, and I'm just like, oh my god, I want to put you both in the bin.
But the episode where he was helping that little girl find her parents, that would peak Cowboy Bebop style of silliness. Loved it. And there's a couple of ones that just
Cowboy
really
Bebop,
did.
Samurai Champloo, Kids on the Slope, Space Dandy, Terror in Resonance, Carol and Tuesday. And apparently he also worked on, not as the art director, Escaflowne, Ergo Proxy, Birdie the Mighty, Decode, Lupin the Third, The Woman Called Fujiko, Death Parade, Sunny Boy. Wow, Sunny Boy. Oh, he's just music advisor on that one.
But
Runner,
like also he's only worked on like a couple of episodes for like each and that.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I've heard good things of Terror and Resonance, but like, I'm not holding out for Lazarus. I don't understand the group. Like, are you actually a government agency? Like, who the fuck are these people?
Are they like the Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
Are they Suicide Squad? Are they Kingsman? Are they what?
Exactly. Are they going to get explained?
Between the two.
Are they going to get explained?
I'm guessing they should, because that's the kind of thing. Where's the funding? Where's the thing? Why do they want this guy before everybody else?
Oh, it actually turns out Skinner's funding Lazarus. Moving on.
Shit, you're probably right, actually.
My last one. GQuuuuuX. Mobile Suit Gundam GQuuuuuX.
GQuuuuuuX.
Now,
go on.
I'm not the biggest aficionado of the Gundam series. Okay, I liked I like the last one, Witch and Mercury, and this one for me is an acquired taste 5.
God. Okay.
I'm not sure how to judge this one quite yet. See, the first episode introduces some fun characters. Introduces get introduced to the mech battles, which are definitely Gundam mech battles. But it took an entire second episode to go back to a Zeroth episode that shows us it's basically in an alternative universe where Char did something crazy and now history is on a different course.
No. Char didn't do anything crazy. Char didn't do anything crazy whatsoever. No. Amuro just didn't turn up.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, fair enough. So Char just did what Char does, and the universe is a little bit different. But in this universe, mobile suits are not just combat mechs because the war's over. Basic mechs are actually demilitarized and sold to people as heavy industry tools. And the very first thing people did with that was figure out a way to gamble on mobile suit fights. Smuggling parts in, needing to rearm them.
Wait, when was it said that they sold?
They literally went through the whole thing of why there were actually non-combat mechs, disarmed ones, in the first episode when they're on the ship looking for the Red Gundam. Yeah, they went through a whole dialogue of the demilitarized mechs are being sold.
That first episode's pretty forgettable, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's true. And it's more about the main characters in that one. Yeah, so the first thing he managed to do was find a way to gamble on mobile suit fights and smuggle in the parts needed to rearm the mechs. and then have a fight before the military police arrive to disband the whole thing and arrest people. As far as the actual characters go, I kind of love them. There's low key. I wouldn't die for them or anything, but I kind of love them. There's this almost Gurren Lagann style to the animation, the hair, the way the character models are formed.
When they do Xeon stuff, when they do military stuff, it has that very classic Gundam look. Like they're really trying to get that exact same style. But everything on the civilian side is very Studio Trigger. This is made by Kara, so that makes sense.
Yes. I like the way they've set up the Gundams and this mysterious problem with the mental command system they use that could cause a disaster. But
so the Psycho-Mu is actually a reference to a different Gundam series. Psycho-Mu and the bits and everything, those are all pulled in from other series.
Yes, they're all pulled in from other series. It's the whole thing of the being an alternate universe thing.
What? No, they're all part of the main universe. They're all part of UC.
Yes, but they're from other what I mean is they're from other Gundam. They're not made specifically for this show. They are from other Gundam series.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Yep.
Sorry.
And so I like the main plot they're setting up with these civilians getting into combat battles and having this thing of trying to be underdogs in the combat scene. And I do kind of like the background plot where Char's old war buddy is trying to track him down via the missing mobile suit. We'll have to see. I'm definitely enjoying watching the main episodes.
I'm almost positive this kid is somehow Char's son. Almost positive. I don't know how.
That's a girl for a start.
No, not her. The one that has the red Gundam.
Oh.
It's either that or the Zeknova somehow made him younger. One of those two.
And a complete stoner.
Yes.
Maybe it's done something even weirder, and it's transferred his consciousness into the two of them, and there's other people out there.
See, so my thought process is the girl's Amara Ray's daughter, but I mean,
yeah, and he's Char's son.
No, I think he's got nothing to.
So, still, I do give this an acquired taste 5 for now. It could go down and it could go up depending on what they actually do with the show.
Yeah, I gave it a very cautious acquired taste 4, so not too far off. Xeno giving it like a 2.
No, I like this. This is like. I genuinely don't know where to rate this. Like, it should just go in the bin because. No, I'm not kidding. Because either B, alternate universe, or UC. What the fuck is this? Alternate universe C. It's like universal centric crap. Like,
no, it makes sense though.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, right? One choice changes everything.
They have glossed over so much of the events of UC, and it's just like
because they didn't necessarily happen. Instead of throwing a colony at Australia, they threw it at the moon.
Yeah. Do you know what the great thing was? That was Char's plan, and he was going to throw it at the Earth to wipe out all life on Earth.
Yeah.
Right? That's part of Char's counterattack, right?
I know.
Whose fucking plan is it now?
But now that the Xeon people are the ones winning the war, that has shifted to the Federation. They came up with a plan to throw the colony at the power structure of the...
No, it's a Xeon colony, Nasuth. Xeon were going to throw it at the lunar colony.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Also, why hasn't Char killed any of the fucking, backstabbing arseholes that are running Xeon? How is, I can never remember her name. It's like Cassilia or something like that. How on earth is she running the whole, the Principality of Xeon? Like, there is so much to this that is very, very confusing in terms of universal century, right?
Yes.
So it is a huge handicap.
I haven't even watched it, and I agree.
Yeah, it's a huge handicap knowing universal century stuff and just going like, I watched Loz have a mental breakdown over this, right?
Loz, we love you, but I really wish I'd been there to see that.
But I don't understand a lot of the, like, oh, for the love of God, they fucking punch a hole, like multiple holes in the hull of Side 6, and somehow no one's dead, right? Yeah. That's the whole point of, oh shit, was it War in the Pocket? I think it is War in the Pocket.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the fact that they fucking punch a hole in the side of Side whatever, and like so many people die, right? Because everyone just gets sucked out in space. 2 Gundams turn up and it's like, you know. I honestly, I think this would be perfectly fine if it had nothing to do with UC, right? You could just, instead of having named anything, just make it nonchalant, and it's just like, you know, that's what they did for 00. Right? Instead of having Minovsky particles, which is a huge part of Xeon, we have like GN particles, right? Yeah. There's so, but like again, there is so much to this, which is, I think it would be perfectly fine if it had nothing to do with UC.
Just didn't do that.
Yeah.
Well, I, for one, am willing to give Hideaki Anno a chance.
Yeah, I know. You want to freaking... Anyway.
Shin Gundam! Woo! Now we have a 5th one to add to that giant mess of a robot.
Oh my god.
So, you know, take us away from Gundam GQuuuuuX and onto your last one.
Oh god, I thought your Forma was going to be okay for sci-fi, and then I started watching Moonrise, and I'm like, oh man, it's good to have some actual good sci-fi.
Oh thank god, I thought you were about to say something about terrible.
Oh, that's awful.
Right. Okay, Moonrise. I'm gonna say my rating, and then I want to hear what you guys...
I haven't watched all of it.
I can't find. Right, so...
No, I didn't get to watch it in the end either, so this is all on you.
Okay, Moonrise. This is a 4-star must-watch. Right?
Sounds about right.
This... I am... That's still trying to hit the 4 stars. I am thoroughly surprised to how good this is. And Netflix, fuck you, right? They have done absolutely nothing to advertise this, right? It came out, I think it was like the 10th of April, and they put all their fucking, I don't know, marketing budget into pimping the shit out of Devil May Cry, and this gem has just slid by unknown. Because
nobody likes sci-fi.
So, you know, it's got the police coming to arrest Netflix now.
Clearly. But the so the whole premise of this is humanity has given its responsibilities over to an AI called Serpentia, right? And Serpentia is like this revolutionary AI that's basically eliminated things like racism, war, famine, disease, because it's allocated resources as and where needed, right? And the
in a big picture way that a group of humans could never do.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, you know, it's just, you know, the Serpentia basically governs the entirety world. Yeah. Sorry, entirety of the world as one, as opposed to, oh well, I want this, you know, so forth. It eliminates greed and.
Wait, isn't that what they did with the maid robots in I'm the Evil Overlord of the Galactic Empire?
Kinda, yeah.
I'm talking shushies, right? and the main protagonist, he is the adopted son of effectively the family that created Serpentia, right? Serpentia's come up with all sorts of new wonderful resources, including the moon bridge. So the idea is that the moon can be farmed for resources to effectively power the Earth. So they have a
how many space elevators is it? It's a bunch of them.
Yes, of course.
It's like
they got a bunch of space elevators.
24 or something.
They got a bunch of space elevators, and the whole point is that the space elevators are used to
as the moon passes by them, they can connect up
and transfer a large amount of energy to the Earth, right? Yeah. So to sustain the population on everything. And then during this celebration, as one would expect, something goes horrifically wrong. And our main protagonist is effectively blamed for it. Now, there is a lot right with this series, but unfortunately, it is held back by the fact that it only has 18 episodes. This was created by Wit Studio, the director behind Attack on Titan. Character designs by the mangaka that did Full Metal Alchemist. The narrative has a lot of Full Metal Alchemist in it, right? And there's so much room to explore in this, but it only has 18 episodes, and it's crazy. That's just more than a single core. It's like, no, honestly, this needs more, right? This I personally think should have had 4 cores, right? Just like Full Metal Alchemist did. It's an excellent series. One of my favorite elements to this is the fact that because they're doing a lot of combat on the moon, they have it's very fanciful in its technology and things. They have these capes, right? And the idea is that while they're wearing the cape, they use it to generate a reactive force for when they're firing their guns, right?
Right.
So they don't lose their balance and things, so it keeps them stable and things. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't work exactly as depicted, but it looks so damn cool, and it is quite clever that they actually even thought about it. They even use the capes as a propulsion system to allow them to travel great distances, or even move around in the air, right? So it's like, they can change direction in the air.
Their space helmets are just a hood with like a force field that goes across the front. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was left wondering what the fuck was the motivation behind anyone's actions for the long time. Sorry, I got partway through the explanation of the story. So something goes horribly wrong during the celebration, and effectively one of the space bridges is blown up, and a terrorist organization on the moon claims a responsibility for it, and effectively the moon has waged war on Earth. And basically our main male protagonist, he's been blamed for the whole thing, and because his foster parents died during this catastrophe, he wants revenge. He's burning with revenge. So when they scan his DNA at the military not a prison, it's like a military base, right?
Oh yeah, the holding
yeah, they kind of realize that he's actually he's built different. He's like 1 in a million, and he has like the genetic profile to tackle a lot of physical problems and things. So the idea is that they're gonna train him up and send him to the moon to go get revenge.
When given a chance, he takes it.
Yeah,
it's also like the only way to prove his innocence, essentially.
Yeah. But there's so much more to this story. There is so fucking much. it is genuinely a really good series. To the point of like, I'm supposed to be working tomorrow. It is 2 a.m. I'm still watching it.
Yeah.
I'm in trouble.
Yes.
So it's a really good series. They do cut a lot of corners in terms of the narrative, which is a bit sad, which is why I can't give it a 5-star. But I am so upset with Netflix not giving this the proper chance to grow and things. This personally has potential for being anime of the year for me.
Wow.
You know, yeah, seriously. Like, you know, I thought that like 5 episodes in, I was like, fucking Christ, this is honestly, it's really fucking good. It's a really good series.
It reminds me a lot of my favorite sci-fi book series, which is the Queendom of Soul. Like, there's a lot of themes in there of like colonies that want to get revenge on the planet that's either abandoned or uses them. Really fantastical technology. Just a lot of like, even the robots being controlled by some force, you know, is that's like the 4th book in the series. Anyway,
hilariously, I was watching this with Loz, and I started. He was criticizing it quite heavily at the beginning, too rightly so, right? Because the production quality on this show is freaking astronomical, right? It is so good, and you know, we got to a point where it was just like, are you not going to take the piss out of this? Like, shut up, it's really good. Shut up, I'm watching. You know, I was like, but yeah. So it's honestly, it's a series that's just completely slept on because no one fucking knows it exists.
Well, more people do now.
Yeah, damn straight. Go watch it.
Go watch
It's
Moonrise.
Really damn good. Moonrise. Yeah.
All right. So we have been recording now for
3 hours.
like 3 hours and a quarter.
Yep.
And we still got stuff to get through.
So, yeah.
Yep.
So let's get us on. Zeno, take us to the supporter questions.
Right, okay, so moving on to the supporter questions. As Rule asks, before we start the supporter questions, I just want to say thank you, everyone, for listening to our podcast so far. We really appreciate all the likes and comments everyone leaves on these episodes. And then he also asks, what would be the hat to end all hats?
Well, obviously, it would have to be the anti-hat. Okay. Descended from on high to end hats.
There.
Right. Where putting it upon your foot, like a shoe, shall result in the destruction of all hats.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Doug Dimmadome's hat.
Yeah,
Who?
that's a good one. Doug Dimmadome.
He's from Fairly Odd
Oh,
Parents.
yeah, I know.
The owner of the Dimsdale Dimdo.
I'd say a beanie, because it's not respectable.
You're not respectable.
Nasuth Taicho asks, would you watch an anime of the award-winning musical Cats, and follow-up, would you want it to look like the live-action movie?
Yes and no.
I don't know, but definitely no. Right.
See, the actual musical, I would watch an anime movie version of it. But the live action movie is no. We don't admit that exists.
Right. Nasuth Taicho also asks, what would be the cat to end all cats?
Well, obviously.
The cat on your foot.
The cat.
The anti-cat.
In the hat.
Oh.
No, I actually saw a really cool cat breed recently.
Yeah.
Where the hair comes in dark, and then the further out it grows, the more it turns white. So like the base is dark and the outside is white. It looks really cool. Oh.
Yeah. See, if it was going to be the cat to end all cats, then the Cat in the Hat, played by Mike Myers, would be the cat in all cats. But
Ancillary
I think some
Thaylien.
kind of high version of the Maine Coon.
Ancillary
Anyway.
Thaylien asks, If they would work on anime logic, what would be the best pet to have as an intelligent but not talking animal companion? A cat in a hat.
Played by Mike Myers.
Played by Mike Myers.
A bat in a hat, played by Robin Williams.
And
I would say a magpie in a tie.
Also asks, that doesn't rhyme with hat. Now that our season's isekai into a sci-fi... Wait. Now that our season's isekai into sci-fi and magical mecha series has introduced learning pods as a way of to age up, muscle train, and also teach skills to the main character. How much do you want to just... Sorry, how much do you just want the tech that lets you take a 6-month nap?
Hey, he slept for like 2 years.
100%.
I'd take that.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I absolutely want the 6-month to 2-year nap. That'd be amazing. Especially if I could get fit and learn stuff.
I was confused.
Yeah, they told me it was only going to take 6
6
months, and then it takes 2 years. It's like, what the fuck?
I mean, I could only assume he went in multiple times.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. Or maybe he went in multiple courses in the same nap time.
Yeah. Right, so moving on to the comments. First from the news, Strombus Shell says, thanks for the news. You are welcome. Zrugal says, yeah, that Switch story seemed a bit odd. Like Nasuth said, Nintendo still got their money because the consoles had to be bought in the first place. I'd be interested to know how he modified them. Maybe he added ROMs for games you would normally need to buy off the Nintendo store. Possibly.
I didn't think of that possibility, and that is very likely now that you bring it up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Real-time breaking news.
Yes.
Yep.
That was when we updated that rumor.
Yeah. I just put in a Demons in Japan related meme. If my math is right, you'll see it after reading this. I wish I could have put it in last week for the previously recorded Kanpai Cast, since it turned out to be about demons. Oh well. Thanks for the news, guys.
We appreciate it.
So.
Yep. And then moving on to the cast. So Zrugal says, I was busy with stuff while listening to this episode, so I didn't keep track of my thoughts, but I enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Happy to be your background noise.
Absolutely. Glad you were listening.
I've always thought the description demon is particularly a mistranslation because the Japanese usage in anime is very varied. Yeah, I think it's like, oh, let's just get all of this stuff and push it into this little box.
Anything that's not an angel is a genie.
Why don't we take the definitions and just push them over here?
You could also have mentioned Blue Exorcist. No. Or Welcome to Demon School, Iruma-kun. I think
I wanted to. I brought it up briefly because the dynamic is absolutely adorable. I love the characters.
There's even one from this season that you guys could have mentioned, I think. You'll know if you did, but I'll find out next week.
Was there?
We did.
Don't know what you're talking about. Right.
the
love
Demon
the memes.
Hunter,
Looking forward to the next episode, the one you just recorded while reading this.
How did you
We
know?
look forward to seeing how you respond.
Actually, to be fair, I think we even alluded to the was it Shadow Demon Hunter something last week, but we're like, well, considering we're actually going to be reviewing it, like, you know,
Possibly, yeah.
Strombus Shell said, I didn't know you were going to record early. How was I supposed to know? Just kidding. I appreciate that you gents checked a second time just for my comment. I'm honored. Good discussion, guys.
We'd like to hear from you.
Laughed pretty good at the memes too. Content reference. Oh, fuck off.
OS1 index equals 1.
Speaking of the
Moving on
memes,
to the memes.
everyone's favorite part. So most of our memes, you know the usual spiel. Our memes usually come from Reddit. You can look at them in the links below. come to the Discord and submit your own memes. For the viewer memes, we take up to 6 of those a week, and we have 5 this week. Let's it's meme number 1. Demons in Japan before. Demons in Japan now.
Yep. Absolutely. What the fuck is Zorro doing there?
He's lost. He's lost.
Well, whoever did that one, well played. My friends, me with anime recommendations. Oh, bang.
Classic. Classic.
Oh my god.
Finally found one. Finally found a Pokemon Center.
That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Popular opinion, his hair isn't the biggest problem. The Boruto art style is.
Yeah. I think Boruto's just a problem in general.
Fair.
The barbarian passes the inter check. Hold on a second. Now, I may not be the brightest knife in the crayon box.
All right. On to my memes. Sorry for the inconvenience. Fantastic Hammy Circus now rehearsing. It's beautiful. I've looked at it for 5 hours now.
The Hamtastic Hammy Circus.
Hamtastic, yes. Me. Did No Game No Life Season 2 come out? Area 51 Time Traveler. Yeah, but Season 3 is better. Me.
Oh.
If only. Japanese economy? Hentai. That's not the spicy one, though. The spicy one is still coming up.
Oh my god.
My next thing are video memes. Girls on Halloween saying they're dressing as a pirate. That's also not the spicy one.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a fact of nature. This is the spicy one. I can assure you, dear viewer, Cowgirl and Guild Girl in modern swimsuits are absolutely crucial to the medieval plot. Absolutely crucial.
Oh my god.
Absolute cinema.
And my last one. This medicine has side effects including feelings of suicide and death. People in the ad. So true. So true.
And Corona is always a vibe.
Okay. There's our copyright strike. I had to turn it off.
This is a war crime. What if mayonnaise came in cans? Well, that would suck because you can't microwave metal. Good morning to everyone except those two people.
Okay, in cans, sure, maybe, but okay.
This is a war crime in a comment. That would suck because you can't microwave metal. Why would...
Do not microwave the mayonnaise. Hot mayonnaise is not a good thing.
Oh. Let's move on. So the chat dads. You can do anything, Shiunji. Don't let Gendo or anyone else put you down.
Yeah. You don't have to get in that robot.
I think the fourth one is okay.
My car, Loki, get it stolen. But they can't get it started either.
That's a good one.
Olaf, 1.62 meters. Levi, 1.60 meters. Let it go, man.
Oh, poor Levi. Oh.
Jesus Christ, hold on. Back it up, Nasuth.
Back it up.
So how tall are they?
Yes, exactly. How
That's got to be a different
tall.
Olaf. That's got to be a different Olaf. Let's face it.
No, apparently that's his canonical height. And
no, but
I did check this.
You have seen for our stuff on Notice We Senpai that Ichigo Kusuragi what's his name? Ichigo
Kurosaki.
Kurosaki, thank you. Is taller than
5'4".
Ainz.
4 in CM. Holy shit, he is 160, almost 163, yes. If you round up.
Yeah.
They say that, but apparently controversy is that Elsa's apparently 5'7", so she's only a few centimeters taller than him. So that is a fucking weird picture.
That's a lie. That's just a fucking lie.
Yes, it is.
Oh dear.
Anyway.
All right, let's move on before this breaks my brain any further.
Yeah.
This is pretty recent, right?
Dude, that's from the 80s?
Yes.
Oh god, it feels like I'm 1,000 years old.
And,
and your final one is a video meme.
Happened again. Another sign language interpreter accused of signing total gibberish. Happened again. Another sign language interpreter accused of signing total gibberish. Happened again.
All right.
Capturing the villains, Deku. We couldn't have done it without.
Oh, this.
Oh, no problem. Hey, you know.
Oh, by the way, there's Xenos memes.
Right? Who are you? I'm Sero, the tape hero. I was super important to the mission. Doesn't Deku have your power, but better? Well, yeah, I'm useless. Todoroki coming in. Yeah. All the villains have been captured and will be brought in for questioning. This is Bakugo. All the villains have been successfully executed. Bakugo, I told you specifically to bring the villains in alive for questioning. I already questioned them. I asked if they wanted to die quickly or slowly. Spoilers, they all died quickly. Please. I just want to see my family. One died slowly.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So, I still didn't understand. Can you break it down?
Oh my god. She needs a cardboard box though.
But,
yeah.
man, after knowing each other for a month. Bro, what's your name?
It's true.
True. I didn't know either of your names for a couple of years.
Would you mind explaining what your hand is doing on my shoulder?
Oh god, this one.
How about you tell me what your hand's doing over that button first?
There's a button to be pushed! The crimson demon, I'm compelled to push it! No matter the consequences!
Don't you dare! If we push that button, she'll ask you if you're her master! And you'll be stuck with her for life! I'm doing this for your own good! Do not push...
Help more!
Yep.
Only
in my case, it's shooting hell bombs.
What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? A fucking cat? Hey, don't fucking look at me like that. That's a weird looking fucking cat.
Nice.
Mom!
Nice.
There's a stray cat outside. It looks like grandma, the fucking thing. Get the fuck out of here. I don't even know if that's a fucking cat. Blink, motherfucker.
Nice. Very good. I think that wins this week.
Yes.
Wait, was that my last one?
That was your last one, yes.
Yes. As a point, if you know the original meme, the guy owns that cat and he loves it very much.
That makes sense.
It was completely staged. Yeah, it's completely staged.
But still. But it's so much fun. I love it.
Right. That's it for today's episode. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening and or watching. And now it's time to bottoms up and Kanpai, because Jesus Christ,
what a marathon!
This has been a long one. 27 different shows. Bloody Christ.